voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin and Brett Stotts Norsworthy.
And a very pleasant good afternoon to you on this Wednesday, July 21 in the year 2021. Dave is out today, tomorrow, and Friday. We'll be back with us on Monday. Gabe Kuhn co-hosting with me today. We're being produced by Bryant Dacus, and this is Sports Time for the third day of 4 at SEC Media Days, but a lot going on around the rest of the world of sports, and we're going to get to it all, including a new champion, first time in 50 years for the Milwaukee Bucks last night as they had the improbable down 0-2 to win 4 straight games in pretty resounding style to get the NBA championship for this year, and the party's still on in Milwaukee, and I was glad last night, and I saw this tweet from well-known political operative David Axelrod, who was instrumental in the election of then-Senator Barack Obama to president, 2 terms as president. And David Axelrod tweeted last night that he was happy for Senator Herbert Kohl. He bought the Bucks, you know the name of Kohl's, the department stores. He bought the Bucks, and when he sold them to the current group, the owners that were parading around last night, and they should have been, in the fine print, in the bold print, you don't move the team. I only sell to you if you don't move the team, or Milwaukee doesn't have that championship last night. First time in 50 years. Gabe Kuhn, you said you tweeted a couple times, Batman and Robin is dead.
and now they're changing it to Batman and Superman. So
Batman and Superman.
I mean, let's stop with all the superhero comparisons at this point. But that was fun, wasn't it?
It was fun.
To see Deer District, how it was, to see all the people in Milwaukee out there having a good time. I know that we always do this. This has been brought up a million times. But if we can get down there on Beale to look like that outside the FedEx Forum, one of these days.
One of these sweet days.
Last night was one of the best examples of hope that we can have, that we can build something great here in Memphis.
For sure. We were even looking at the re-signing of Giannis as a sign of, do we really have a chance in this? Are we ever going to be real members of the club instead of just dues payers like it's felt like for so long that's all that Memphis and the Grizzlies that they were really doing? And we looked at the Giannis re-signing, Supermax going to be there for a long time. And that could portend for either Jaren Jackson or Ja Morant or someone in the future, someone we may be out of the draft this year, because where the Grizzlies draft this year is about in the neighborhood that the Bucks were able to select Giannis. But the Bucks win last night. They are the champions. I do hope that when we have that sweet day, we almost know it won't be during the month of July, because we maybe won't have gone through another global pandemic and everything kicked back. So maybe it'll just be in the month of June, but that scene did look fun.
And you know what? That's fine. If we have it a little earlier, I think we're okay with it.
We'll take that party
as long as it's here. But, yeah, hopefully we get back to a sense of normalcy this offseason, getting back into next NBA season. I know it's going to be crunched down, but we're trying to get back on the normal schedule as far as the NBA goes. You just hope that the injuries aren't a thing going into next year.
89 days until opening night of the 21-22 season set right now. No teams, no names, no towns involved yet, but they will be for October 19th. And I think I counted. I think that's 89. It's not a very long time. And for some of those players, not many, but some, to Tokyo, I think, we hope. Are we hoping the Olympics go off?
Look, I think you hope, but you also have it in the back of your head that it's very possible that you're going to have cancellations of certain events, if not the whole thing. It's there. The problems are already happening. They've been happening. So you know that there's the possibility there. You don't want it to happen, though. You don't want to have to think about it, but we're in a situation right now where we already have a lot of basketball players in health and safety protocol. We have one basketball player who's out. Coco Gauff's out. And that's just in the U.S., where we actually have a lot of vaccination. We have a good percentage of our population vaccinated. We're not even talking about other countries. You have the organizing committee, the chief of the organizing committee for the Olympics saying that a last-second shutdown of the Olympics is very possible. It's still on the table. So day by day, Brett, just day by day with this thing, because it's concerning.
It is. It would be catastrophic for the Olympics for them to have to, and there would be no rescheduling. This would be it.
Canceled.
It would be canceled. No 2020 Olympics, no kicking it back to next year, 6 months, because really that International Olympic Committee, they've got to start preparing for the Winter Olympics that's not that far off in Beijing, in China, so they would have to do that. We will talk golf today like we do every Wednesday with John Goen. I think you're going to see some of these golfers. It might not be any, it won't be all from the United States, but you're going to see the golfers start being plucked off one by one and deciding not to go.
And also with the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational, based on the Olympics timing and what is going on right now with the schedule with the PGA Tour, it's just going to be a lesser group, lesser field than it normally is. That's just the truth of the matter. But at the same time, I think everyone's just ready to get back in the gallery, to be live there at Southwind. So, it's one of those things. But I think it's – and I think Mark Giannotto summed it up perfectly with what he wrote in the CA. It's about the fans. It's about us getting back out there, not so much about the field.
Yeah, I've been out there a lot of years when the biggest name was Two Glove Tommy Gaynor and another Tommy named Tommy Tolles. I mean, I've been out there. I saw Ernie Gonzalez cold top one like you see every weekend around your course when you're out at. So I'll take it however we get it, because we're close. We're close, but everything feels a little elusive, doesn't it?
Yep.
In this COVID virus pandemic world. We're close to about getting the sports calendar reset. We're NFL training camps open, opening day, preseason games, all on the way. College football, as we've talked all week, it feels close. But some of that could be scrubbed too.
I was going to say it feels close, but the uncertainty around the variant, the uncertainty around a lot of the getting back on schedule things. When you talk about the NBA, how quick it's going to be of a turnaround, it's just. We're still not out of the woods, and we have to take it that way. We have to take our precautions. I don't want anybody to be scared. I don't want to be people to be fearful. I don't want any of that. But it's certainly something we have to keep an eye on and do our part in.
And we will, and we have sure tried to do that. SEC Media Days all this week. Today, day 3. Today, the teams that are featured here today, well, it's 3 from the West and 1 from the East. From the East, it's Vanderbilt. From the West, it's Mississippi State, Texas A&M, 2 maroon-clad teams. Right. Trying to do my best Jack Crystal from the day. And one other team, man, they just never can catch a break. They don't hardly ever do anything. All of the preseason hype around Alabama, it's all a bunch of smoke, isn't it, Gabe? I think they come through, don't you?
Yeah, they seem to come through. And this year, I know a lot of people talk about what they are, and people think they're the most gettable, but how gettable is that?
Yeah,
right? That's always the question.
2.
It looked like
when gettable is 1, boy, you set a high standard, didn't it?
It looked like the Pirate had fun up there today.
Pirate had fun today. Old Dabo Sweeney, he wants no expansion of the playoffs, and the Pirate Mike Leach, he goes for 64. He goes for the basketball tournament.
He wants FCS. He wants it to expand as fast and as much as possible.
I don't think either are going to get their way. I think somewhere between Dabo Sweeney and Mike Leach is going to be the formula.
Yeah, somewhere between. I think 64 is ridiculous to even think about.
I'm bigger than 12 too. I'm not 64, but I'm bigger than 12. I'm 16 with play-in games that can incorporate bowls. I really hope that, and of course, everything about money, but I really hope it's just not a mad dash for more cash, and we really get creative of what we do. A little bit on campus, a little bit in corporation of, shall we say, air quotes here, some of the lesser bowls for play-in games. The MAC versus the Sun Belt in a play-in game. And I know people go, yeah, but Brett, why play? We have them in the basketball tournament.
Right. And we let them, and they get their opportunity regardless of the chances they have at getting to the very end and getting into the national championship game. They still get the opportunity. And I'm just confused about the Dabo thing. I'm not.
He's always in it. Why would he want to expand it?
I'm not confused in the fact that he wants it to
It's
stay
pretty
the same
craven.
because if he had his way, he wouldn't change a thing. I understand that, but what is okay to him? If 12 is too much, is 8 too much, is 6 too much? What? At what point do you draw the line? Like, is 4? Because 4 has to change. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. You can't think that 4 is the end-all, be-all.
Yeah, and Dabo a little old school. Remember when we were first talking about paying the players, he said, well, they'll have to do it without me. Well, he's not going anywhere because he likes that paycheck. And it almost sounds like Dabo wants to go back to UPI AP naming the national champions.
Right.
Very anachronistic. Not going to happen. We got a busy show today. We will talk a lot about the teams that are here today: Alabama, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, and Texas A&M. Our SEC Media Day sponsors: All Star Chevrolet, the official vehicle of SEC Media Days. They're down in Olive Branch. Go see Scott. Go see Drew. All the great crew at All Star. Belly Acres, Golf Sticks, Pretzels, Jason's Deli, Memphis Tourism Sports Council, Mossy Oak Golf Club. 2 locations for the commissary. One in Germantown, the original, and one in Collierville. And Ronnie Grisani's, and also I mentioned Belly Acres. Not too late for that late lunch, and it's not too early for that early dinner. Belly Acres motto: it's city-fied, farm fresh. The goal is simple: provide a fun, unique farm-to-table experience for the whole family. 2 great locations: Regalia at 6130 Poplar, and in Overton Square at 2102 Trimble Place. Overton Square, hours Sunday through Thursday, 11 a to 9 p. Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Regalia on Sunday through Thursday, 10:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. Signature burgers are made from 100% grass-fed beef, sandwiches, salads, and the best milkshakes anywhere. The burgers, like the dare ya, are the double dare ya, and the melt in your mouth, and you have to try the Voodoo Moo Moo. It is the quality brand the Belly Acres team has developed using grass-fed beef with creative homemade toppings in a fun farm setting right here in the city. The goal at Belly Acres, to become even more sustainable as they grow. They are in Overton Square and in Regalia, the very best quality. Available in Memphis: burgers, shakes, and smiles at Belly Acres. Also, this news from college football today. The sad news: 91 years young, Bobby Bowden announcing that he has a terminal medical issue, and that his days are like all of ours, are numbered, but his are numbered probably in the very short variety. 91 years young, the great college football coach at FSU, and a very devout person. His statement was typical Bobby Bowden. He puts everything in the Lord's hands.
It's very, very sad, very unfortunate, and to see him say that he knows that he's headed that direction, and he knows, and he's taking peace in it. It's always sad to see that. Just an all-time great guy, not just as a football coach, but as a human being, and very, very sad for the Florida State family as well as the college football family.
He put them on the map. Florida State, even after he got there, they were talking about they played the Tigers in the season of the fall of 77. It was right before the Steve Sloan hire at Ole Miss in those years. And the FSU played in Memphis late in the year, and the story and the commercial appeal that day, Gabe, was downsizing football and not a commitment financially to football at FSU. And he was scared of it, and he got in the mix for the Ole Miss job with Hayden Fry, and who Ole Miss ultimately hired and who they preferred in Steve Sloan.
And to think about what Florida State was before he got there, and now how high of a measuring stick he has set that program, their trajectory, and in what they've been able to accomplish, it's unbelievable.
TJ Reeves will visit with us at 3:30 like he does every Wednesday afternoon. We'll talk a myriad of subjects with TJ. At about 3:45, we will visit with the sideline reporter for the Vanderbilt Commodores, Kevin Ingram. 4 o'clock, John Goen from Timber Trust Golf. We'll have golf talk and picks. Gabe and Bryant and Drew, they've taken the fun out of the golf picks this year. Y'all are no fun to play with. On the back of your report cards, it should be signed, they do not play well with others.
We think it's fun, though. Don't we think it's fun, Bryant?
I think it's a lot of fun.
Take your victory laps,
I love
man. Take your victory laps. Just walk in and destroy
everybody. Should we put up
everybody.
the banner already? Should we put the banner up already?
Oh, please do. I hope it puts the curse on you. And Drew wanting to lay claim to a ring.
You know what I love is we get the group text with Drew, and he says "we" as if he's been making things. He left me third place. He left me third place when I took over.
Left you third place, and I put brackets around that we. What do you mean we? But we will have golf picks with John going about 4:15 or so. Rick Harrow in the business of sport. We will talk with him about the business of the Olympics and sponsors and NBC and rights fees and cancellation fees and cancellation insurance. What does a premium cost for something like that to host the Summer Olympics? About 4:45 from TexAgs.com, our friend Olin Buchanan. He'll be with us here to talk about the Aggies, Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban on a collision course in October, it feels like, at 5 o'clock. Ryan Fowler from Tuscaloosa, 100.9 in Tuscaloosa, in T-Town, where they talk college football every day. He will join us to talk the Alabama Crimson Tide and his perspective on things, as he is very close in covering that program, and Coach Nick Saban. At 5:30, really excited to welcome new to the Mississippi State beat for the Daily Journal in Northeast Mississippi, Northeast Daily Journal, based out of Tupelo, Stefan Kryishnik. He will join us. Last year he covered Indiana and Tom Allen at school. So Stefan Kryishnik will join us as he's on the beat at Mississippi State, and we will talk the Pirate with him. And the Pirate had a good day in front of the media. Very, very, very comfortable. So we will get to all of that. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Call them up at 901-362-8833. Lexus of Memphis offering the Golden Opportunity July sales event. Great offers on all 2021 models and always special lease options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2021 flagship LS500. You'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design that makes for the luxury driving experience. 901-362-8833. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
It is over. The Milwaukee Bucks in 6 games have beaten the Phoenix Suns. I know that me and you picked Suns in 5. We were dead wrong. I'm okay with that because what I saw last night out of the Deer District, what I saw in Milwaukee looked fun as all get out. The first half was very ugly last night. Very, very ugly. Both teams played D. Stagnant O at times. Campaign actually turned in a decent performance in the first half. But Giannis was very awake last night. Giannis finishes with 50, 14, 2, and 5 blocks. Unbelievable from start to finish in that series. And the most important thing, Brett, 17 for 19 from the free throw line.
Count that. 1, 2, 3.
Exactly. I loved his energy the entire series. I loved his offensive aggression. Last night he was even putting up some mid-range and a couple three-pointers. You have to respect Giannis's body of work at this point. 5-time All-Star, 2-time MVP, 1 NBA title, got the Finals MVP now at age 26. He is an all-time great for this era, and there's no question about it. He stamped that last night. He showed that he's a hooper, he's a ball player, he's a basketball player, whatever.
He's Robin, he's Superman.
He's he showed absolutely everything.
He's the Joker, he's the Penguin.
In this series, he showed it last night, and if we're being honest, Brett, is that one of the, if not the best closeout performances in NBA Finals history?
Oh, it was drop the mic. It was incredible what he did last night. It was if he does nothing else, and he'll do plenty. He'll fill in the back of the basketball card just fine. Thank you very much. But he's got a signature moment. And in Milwaukee, I know the rest of the career, but in Milwaukee, he now has as many titles as the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had in Milwaukee.
And he did it without Drew Holiday showing up last night, too. That's no surprise there, but he is just unbelievable.
I'm with you for the top story. New champion all together now. For the first time since 1971, the Milwaukee Bucks. They counted out as dead. In 0-2, Gabe, you're right. We did not give them much of a chance. I only picked 4-1 because I was too big a chicken to say sweep. I really thought it was a gentleman's sweep. It wasn't either. It wasn't 4-0. It wasn't 4-1. It wasn't even a win.
And for Chris Paul, oh, my gosh, 4 times now.
We'll get to that later.
Up 2-0, and to lose a series that's the most of all time. And I have a high hard one. You don't have to answer it. I'm just going to throw it out there to the text line 901-360-8255. More important to Milwaukee and Wisconsin, Aaron Rodgers or Giannis Antetokounmpo?
They got the same number of titles. That's a really good question. 901-360-8255 to answer Gabe's question of more important, Giannis or double A-Rod. The Bucks win it last night. Giannis is MVP, and he was spectacular.
Not top story of the day.
And I know you guys probably mentioned this. This came out yesterday, and it's been blown out of proportion. That's why it's my not top story of the day. Deion Sanders leaving the podium at SWAC Media Days after being called Deion by actually a friend of a couple of shows on these airwaves, Nick Suss.
Yep.
He wanted to be called coach. Normally you get in a situation where before the media availability, he should mention that. But he made a hardcore example out of Nick Suss in the situation.
That's unfortunate.
And I didn't like how he went about it.
And I like Deion.
I
love Nick.
like Deion. I love his personality. I think it's good, and I think it brings a lot of publicity to the SWAC, to Jackson State. But here's my thing, Brett. Bring attention to Jackson State, to the SWAC for the right reasons.
To your program.
And you have a lot of ways you could have done that in answering some of those questions. But in my opinion, he made it about himself yesterday. And I don't think that was the right way to go about it. And part of me knows that the way Nick responded was probably not the best way you could have responded in that situation. But I don't know if anyone responds to passive-aggressive tone and being made an example of. And it seems sort of as if he was trying to make him to belittle Nick in the situation. I don't know if anyone responds very well to that.
Yeah, nobody does. And I saw Nick today, and I told him from here on, I only refer to him as columnist.
Columnist sus.
Yes, he said, you're not the first to crack that joke today. And he took it well in stride. And I'm pulling for Deion Sanders. I'm pulling for HBCU football. I want that to do well. And with Eddie George at Tennessee State, people are looking at them to see if those big superstar names can make it work there, and then maybe parlay it into maybe something else, or just the restorative part of proud HBCU programs, and then to kind of go off the grid like that. My not top story, poor Alabama. They don't have a proven quarterback yet, but he's already a millionaire. Sports, football, SEC, Bama, America.
Poor Bama.
It kind of just screams it all right there. But we do have a serious dilemma, Gabe, I think, with student athletes. I'm being very serious here in sports and athletes around sports, but especially 18, 19, 20, and 21-year-olds. There's a lot of emphasis placed on mental and emotional health issues now around sports. Gabe, it's already tough enough. You know what it's like maybe to be booed, to be jeered, to be cheered, to be heckled, to the expectation game. You've been out there in big-time college football. Now we're paying them. I'm fine by that. But how are these youngsters, 20-year-old, that brain not fully yet formed into – you're an adult, but it's not full maturation yet. And if you play well, that money goes up. How do you handle that? But if you play bad and the money stops, the endorsement stops, the booing starts, the money's turned off, how's that going to affect a young guy?
Right. Growing pains are going to be very, very important. And I saw Nick Saban today mention it's been equal in the past. I don't know how exactly true that is. There's people get benefits, other guys get treated better than others. But he said it's been equal for the most part, talking about a scholarship. Now that you have the NIL, now that you have guys making millions of dollars.
We got a sliding scale.
What does the locker room look like? I think there's more pressing issues in regards to NIL, lawsuits, bad businessmen getting involved with some of these guys. I think there's more pressing issues, but that certainly is something we're going to have to keep an eye on, and we can't act like it's not something that exists.
No, it's very, very real. We will have to watch that and see how it develops. The official transportation of SEC Media Days, it's All-Star Chevrolet. If you're looking for a new Chevy or a pre-owned Chevy, Olive Branch is where you want to be. New Silverados, Tahoes, they've rolled in, and thanks to you, the All-Star Certified pre-owned lot, it's full. If you're ready to sell your truck, car, SUV, All-Star will buy it, even if you owe money on it, even if you don't buy one of theirs. Remember, it's not South Haven, it's not Collierville, it's not Mount Moriah or the Pike. Find new roads to Olive Branch, to All-Star Chevrolet. See Scott, see Drew, see the great team down there, or go to allstarautogroup.com. We come back. Gabe Kuhn in with me today. We will visit with TJ Reeves, talk a myriad of subjects, the Buccaneers, Tom Brady at the White House, a little Open Championship thoughts of his, and other things. That's coming up next on Sports Time.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ. Listen to us daily on 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world at sports56whbq.com or on the Sports 56 app.
Hey, listen up, Mid-South. It's time to get your new ride on at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat with the biggest Make This the Summer event you've ever seen. Check out 2021 Dodge Challenger at $389 a month. Power up in a 2021 Dodge Charger at $429 a month. And get adventure ready in a 2021 Jeep Wrangler Sport, now just $539 a month. And don't forget to check out the all-new 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee L. Never a better time to trade or buy a new Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat from Gossett. So drive past the rest and come to the best, or shop online anytime at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motorcars.
Almost finance through Chrysler, 75 months at 3.99 APR, 3,500 down. Challenger MH586,606, MSRP 31,835. Charger MH602255, MSRP 33,435. Wrangler MW663938, MSRP 40,650. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/31/2021. Dealer stock only.
Need to sell your home? You're in luck, because I buy houses. All you have to do is call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pin, 901-406-1101, or just save it in your phone. Bill at I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses buys houses in any area, in any condition, at any time. As simple as that. I Buy Houses is guaranteed to close in 5 days. So if you need your cash fast, just call Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. Has your house been on the market? Were you just tired of renters? Or is it just time to start over? Well, avoid repairing, cleaning, painting, and prepping your house. Just pick up the phone and call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses. If you're in Southwind, South Memphis, North Mississippi, North Memphis, Collierville, if you can hear this, just call my friend Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies. We will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Fiveash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Fiveash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Hey, Mid-South, it's time to trade up at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah during the Trade Up to a Kia sales event. Hey, what's happening over there, Jeff Allen?
We got it going on, and we're ready to help you trade up to your next Kia. I've got a 2022 Kia Soul, not a lease, and 0.9% APR, $289 a month. 2022 Kia Sportage, 0% APR, and only $365 a month. And if you want American-made, we got it with 2022 Kia K5 now, $374 a month.
Plus, every Gossett Kia comes with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty program.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, 2680 Mount Moriah, or KiaMountMoriah.com.
All $29.99 down payment, 60 months, sold in 715-0981, 0.9%, MSRP $20,685, Sportage in 79,79,540, 0% MSRP $26,060, K5 NGO 95054, 0.9%, MSRP $25,840, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 695, excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/31/2021. Dealer stock only. Must finance through Kia on APR offer.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
What I'm saying is, this is the anthem. Throw all your hands up.
Dave out, Gabe in, Bryant producing. I'm Brett Norsworthy at SEC Media Days on Radio Row for SEC Media Days 2021. Every week we visit with TJ Reeves at this time. He's been to plenty SEC Media Days, probably a couple ACC Media Days. He joins us now in Tampa. He's with us every week. And TJ, sadly, we have to start with a very sad subject with the news breaking today of the terminal illness for Coach Bobby Bowden. In that state that you've lived and worked in, you know of his legendary status. I almost said where he is, and I want to be careful, I almost said where he is a god, but he is such a godly man, Big G, just where he is a revered, legendary figure. He is that, isn't he?
Well, there is no doubt. First of all, it's good to be with you, and we got so many avenues we could travel, so many different directions. But yes, that's a tough one on a Wednesday. I know he battled COVID-19, by the way, last fall and survived with the treatment with the doctors, and has not been in great health really for the last couple of years. And I mean, there is no overstating what he has meant to college football as a whole, but specifically in the state of Florida and for that football program. Unreal, putting Florida State on the map back 40 years ago now. I realize for everybody that's under the age of 30, they have no idea who we're talking about or what his significance is. But it's interesting on a day, I'll kind of morph it into this, on a day in which the Texas-Oklahoma rumors are back. Right. What year is this, Brett Norsworthy? Are we back to like 2010 at the SEC Media Days, or 2012? Remember when the ground was shaking like every other day?
Nothing better.
Right. So how about this? I mean, about 30 years ago, Florida State was a candidate to potentially be in the SEC.
Turned them down. Right.
When they were independent. Yeah. And it was Bobby Bowden's roots in Alabama, roots with West Virginia, having coached West Virginia, but also roots from Alabama that had everybody thinking that Florida State might end up in the SEC, and instead they ended up in the ACC, trying to help put the football, the football footprint together for the ACC. And they were Clemson 30 years ago, before Clemson is now, what Florida State was in the early 1990s in that conference, where they beat everybody all the time and continually contended for the national championship year after year after year. And you love my stats, and I believe I still have this correct, and we got to fact check and double check it, but I believe this is pretty close. Something that even with all the dominance of Clemson and with Alabama, that you go back to in terms of Bobby Bowden and Florida State, 14 consecutive years, 14 straight seasons from the late 1980s into the early 2000s, Florida State finished in the top 5 of the AP poll at the end of the year, when it was all said and done, and played in a New Year's Day or BCS or national championship game. When you think about how staggering a streak that is, even as good as Alabama and Clemson have been in the present, or even Ohio State, 14 years in a row in the AP top 5, that tells you what Bobby Bowden means in this state. So it is sad news.
And what he built there, just to think about what they were before and what they are now, and the expectations that he set. He is now the bar. He's the measuring stick for what you're supposed to be as a head coach there at Florida State. Now, you brought up the Oklahoma-Texas thing. This is my thought on it. Aren't they being treated? Don't they have it nice in the Big 12 right now?
Isn't it a one-way street where the money flows through them,
right?
Through Norman and through Austin at this point. It's got to be that behind the scenes they believe the Big 12 is in real jeopardy from a TV standpoint of basically unraveling and not rivaling anything else. And so they're exploring this once again, maybe to try to get an even bigger deal for themselves. But I mean, they had a situation back 10 years ago when all this was going on where they, and I believe it's still the case, they get a bigger revenue share than the other 8 schools that are now there. or is it 9? I can't ever keep track. The Big 12 has 10 teams, right? And the Big 10 has 14 teams, and we wonder why nobody in grade school can get anything right with math anymore. But in any event, the other 8 make a lesser share than what Texas and Oklahoma get. And by the way, the doing away for a while with the Big 10, with the Big 12 championship game was because Texas and Oklahoma didn't want it. They were the bullies, if you will, in the room saying, we don't want a championship game anymore. They've only recently gone back to it. So you're right. They've gotten their way for many years.
Yeah, they always have. And interesting, those two teams, because there's always kind of provisos around them. Texas with A&M, if they does A&M have veto power? Do they have blocking power? For Oklahoma, will that state legislature, will that governor let them do anything independent of Oklahoma State and T. Boone Pickens' fortune? So we'll watch that. Why couldn't this story had broken 6 weeks ago is all I ask. But we have it now. TJ, we had news this week of another Tom Brady trip to the White House, but bigger than that, he played with a torn-up knee last year, and we didn't even notice it.
Right.
Did you know?
That's caused some controversy on, how hurt was the knee, and as it turns out, he had apparently partially torn or fully torn it before the season ever began and played with it. He's not the most mobile quarterback to begin with, but it shows some of the guts. And I know there's been some blowback about, well, they never had him on the injury report because of his knee, et cetera, et cetera. But this is coming out of New England, where they were never straight about what he was hurt with or anybody else was hurt with for the longest time. And Brady, by the way, took every snap of every game that he needed to be in there, except for the games in which they were either being beaten one-sided or were winning one-sided in the fourth quarter. He played every significant snap of every game. There's something to be said for that. So you're right. His health is going to be a concern. We're going to keep saying this on the show. As I said, I think last week and said it all last season, how long at soon-to-be 44 years of age does he hold up? And the question is the elbow, the shoulder, Father Time. How long can you defy it? Can you defy it for the entire 2021 year? I mean, even Peyton Manning, who was a few years younger, had to have the neck surgeries, plural, rebuilt, and he was broken down at the very end. And I think Peyton was like 38 or 39, Brett, correct me.
Missed the 2011 season. Yeah. Missed the 2011 season and played in Super Bowl 50. So we'll see. And the ramifications locally for an upheaval in realignment and expansion for OU and Texas for the Memphis Tigers, we will explore in the days ahead, Gabe. That's big.
It will speed up that talk dramatically, and I already know if it gets let down, how that conversation will go. And if Memphis, if this realignment does happen and Memphis loses out on the Big 12 again, I can only imagine the responses. But
does the Big 12 still exist?
Right.
Is the bigger question. It's going to break completely apart.
And we're headed – it really seems like we're headed to 16-team super conferences. That seems like where we're headed.
60 power teams.
Basically. But also with Tom Brady, he's now between the White House and the match where he's bagging on Aaron Rodgers. He's the roast master general. He's like Jeff Ross nowadays, isn't he?
I know.
Good Lord.
He was getting off the quips with President Biden and that whole thing. And by the way, the Buccaneers made Tampa Bay history. That was the first ever White House visit yesterday, because the 2002 John Gruden Buccaneers did not get to visit the George H.W. Bush White House because the reincarnation of the Iraq war, conflict, shock and awe, whatever you want to call it, that was in the planning stage and was beginning at the time where they would have done the Super Bowl ceremony. And so the Tampa Bay Lightning, the previous time that they won the Stanley Cup in 2004, they canceled the season the next year. So the NHL didn't want a White House visit while there was a lockout. And then obviously you had the election ongoing last year when the Lightning won again in the resumed hockey season. Never got a White House visit before they started the season back. And so now you get to the Buccaneers, and then you've got the Lightning again if President Biden wants to invite the Lightning again here in the next few weeks to come back around. But that's the first time a Tampa Bay team had ever had a Rose Garden ceremony yesterday. And tomorrow, Gabe and Stats, Tom Brady gets his 7th Super Bowl ring at a Super Bowl ring ceremony along with the rest of his teammates. It's an interesting week in Tampa Bay for the Buccaneers, for sure.
Those things are got to the ring ceremonies for him have got to be getting old. I mean, seriously, they have got to be getting boring. Real quick.
I don't know, though. This was interesting because it's the first year that it's a Buccaneer logo, Gabe, on the ring.
Right. And he proved himself without Bill Belichick, so maybe it means more.
And you better believe he was in on the design of this thing.
Right. And I don't know, TJ, I've been meaning to ask you this for a couple weeks now, but Cameron Kinley actually got his the Secretary of Defense gave him the okay to actually join the Buccaneers, and we have our Memphis ties with him. He was a Lausanne alum around here. What do you know about his opportunity to make the active roster this year?
I know it is a very young secondary to begin with for the Bucs. He's a long shot, but what a great story. I mean, you're talking about somebody that's the class, that is the class president, right, at the Naval Academy. A tremendous story academically as well as athletically. And wouldn't it have been humorous if this had still been ongoing, because what they originally said was he can't play, he's got to do his service contract, the same one that Roger Staubach went through, by the way, and again, I'm dating Brett and me more so than Gabe and the younger audience. They're rolling their eyes. Roger Staubach had to go, Brett, did he go for 4 years on the naval commitment, at least?
Went to Vietnam.
He came to the Cowboys, right?
Yeah, served in Southeast Asia. He sure did. So it is a great story. So, TJ, we're up again.
My punchline is, what if it had come to Tom Brady having to say something to Joe Biden yesterday about the young man from Navy? Hey, can we get this taken care of and get the young man a chance to play for the Buccaneers? I mean, Brady might have had that pool, guys, with the president right there in the Rose Garden to be able to give him a shot.
TJ, we're up against it on time, but I do want your thoughts real quick, if you can, please, on the Open Championship. Usti blows another one.
Well, give credit to Colin Morikawa. He took it more than Oosthuizen blew it, or anybody else. Jordan Spieth was trying. I thought we were headed for a playoff. I joked at the end of the show last week that I liked Oosthuizen as a pick. What I didn't get to say was I put a small investment on a 35-1 when I was out in Las Vegas with you guys a couple of weeks ago. Oosthuizen was 35-1.
Come on, man.
I put a small investment
Took money out of the college fund for the Twins. Dang it.
Exactly, but give Morikawa the credit. Because
they got to go to public school now. You had Duke paid for with this. you had Cornell or the Ivy League paid for with this. Now they got to go to public school like your dad did.
Exactly.
TJ, thank you so much for your time today. You know the standard operating procedure at SEC Media Days. Hey, you got 12 minutes for me this week?
Exactly. So you got to see who you can get on next. I await the interview with DeLoss Dodds or Joe Castiglione, and who scores that at Media Day.
No
Coming
kidding.
Up later today. Good luck.
TJ, thank you so much, and we'll visit again next week. You got it. TJ Reeves with us every Wednesday afternoon. It's always a lot of fun. When we come back, we will talk the first year for Coach Clark Lee and the Vanderbilt Commodores, and we will do that with their sideline reporter, Kevin Ingram, next on Sportstime.
Get your day off to a great start with Peter Edmonston and Anthony Sane on Sports 56 mornings. Weekdays from 7 to 10 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's finally time to get out of the house. So make sure you stop by Family Leisure with great prices on in-stock and incoming products. Keep the kids active with play gyms, in stock, ready for delivery. And by the way, installation from the pros, I always recommend that. Markdowns on remaining game room products and those beautiful massage chairs. And the hot tubs, they're going fast. Get out of the house and get to Family Leisure. Wooden Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
Hey everybody, ready for a new Chevy or pre-owned Chevy? Olive Branch is where you want to be. All-Star Chevy has new Silverados and Tahoes coming in. And if you're ready to sell your car, truck, or SUV, All-Star Chevy will buy it, even if you owe on it, and even if you don't buy one of theirs. Or you could just bring the title and get your check today. Spread the word, people. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Collierville, not Mount Moriah or the Pike, it's Olive Branch. So find new roads to Olive Branch and All-Star Chevrolet, or go to allstarautogroup.com.
It's finally time to get out of the house. So make sure you stop by Family Leisure with great prices on in-stock and incoming products. Keep the kids active with play gyms, in stock, ready for delivery. And by the way, installation from the pros, I always recommend that. Markdowns on remaining game room products and those beautiful massage chairs. And the hot tubs, they're going fast. Get out of the house and get to Family Leisure. Wooden Road and I-40, where family and fun come together.
Golf enthusiast, looking for new golf greens? Got it. New and exciting Cypress View Golf and Recreation, just over the Mississippi River in Marion, Arkansas. Cypress View Golf and Recreation. Absolutely gorgeous. Your first tee, you're looking at cypress trees a mile long in between a small lake. Give it your best shot. Feel like you're on vacation. Located just over the bridge at 303 Club Circle in Marion, Arkansas. It's the new semi-private pro golf club. Cypress View Golf and Recreation has a new golf pub with tons of new food items for breakfast and lunch. Choose from Philly cheesesteak sandwich, homemade fresh hand-patted burgers, and Nathan's hot dogs, flatbreads, quesadillas, summer salads, and more. Take advantage of Cypress View Golf and Recreation's new membership for unlimited golf. 7 days a week, only $199 plus tax. Call Pro Mark today at 870-739-6305 at Cypress View Golf and Recreation.
It's time to trade up to a Kia sales event at Gossett Kia on Covington Pike. Get up and go in a 2021 Kia Rio 41 MPG Highway, 0% and $239 a month. 2021 Kia Forte, 0% and $268 a month. And get all-weather rugged and ready in 2022 Seltos, $334 a month. Plus, peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Get top dollar for your Kia trade today and trade up at Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike, or shop online 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com. Ask for Bobby J and he'll put you in a new Kia today.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All $29.99 due at signing. Rio Forte 60 months at 0%. Rio ME 403.610. MSRP 17,315. Forte ME 379,469. MSRP 19,040. Seltos N 724 718 166 months at 1.9%. MSRP 24,110. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 must finance with KMF or low APR. Excludes tax file and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 8/2/2021. Dealer stock only.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Noseworthy.
Welcome back in to this Wednesday SEC Media Days edition of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Gabe and Stats. As we promised before the break, we're going to head down to Hoover, Alabama, where Stats was able to catch up with Kevin Ingram, who's the Vandy sideline reporter, about what first-year coach Clark Lee may do with that Vandy football team.
Very pleased to be joined by Kevin Ingram, the sideline reporter for the Vanderbilt Commodores and a new head coach at Vandy, and a lot of optimism and a bigger commitment to football.
Yeah, it's an exciting time. Just kind of get the season started. It feels a little more normal to be here at SEC Media Day, so just glad to be here and looking forward to getting things rolling here in a few weeks.
Kevin, we all are. The anticipation last year, we don't want everyone to have to do that again, but a lot of anticipation in Nashville with the new head coach, Coach Lee, and his distinct Vanderbilt ties.
Yeah, no question about it. Clark Lee, he's a Nashville guy. I mean, not just a Vanderbilt guy, but a Nashville guy. His father, his whole family with connections. He was a baseball player and a football player during his time in college. But it was funny. I was thinking the other day, I go back to, I was doing sidelines when he was playing for Vanderbilt. Now he's the head coach. And so it's fun to see these things kind of come full circle. But I think everybody's excited. There's a lot of unknown. I think nobody really knows what to expect. And maybe that's a good thing going into this season.
One thing that is known, you got a quarterback.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Got two quarterbacks, Ken Seals and Mike Wright. Both played a lot last year. Seals passed for 1,900 yards, set a freshman record at Vanderbilt. Mike Wright showed he can be a really good short yardage guy, really dynamic player too. So I think as far as that position goes, they got to feel pretty good about where they are. Offensive line was a struggle last year, but those guys made some things happen despite that. Had some good skill guys last season. We'll see how their play last year and their experience carries over to 2021.
Kevin, the schedule, it's daunting. Even your non-conference is really tough, and then you get into conference. It's never easy. It's not easy for anyone.
No, it really isn't. Think about 2020. You played 10 conference games. I don't know that anybody wants to do that again either. It was a lot of fun as a fan to watch, but as a program, it's tough. You go back to more of the traditional schedule: 8 conference games, 4 non-conference games. Vanderbilt will start out against East Tennessee State. You hope you can come out and have success and kind of get off to a good start in the opener. You don't want to take anything for granted, obviously. We'll go to Colorado State, play Stanford at home, have UConn also at home. So, yeah, the non-conference will be challenging, and then the SEC is the SEC. You know what you're getting into in those games.
It is really rough. Visiting with Kevin Ingram, sideline reporter for the Vanderbilt Commodore Radio Network. And, Kevin, I know a lot of people people have, I think, appreciatively, I know I've done it respectfully because of the prestige of the academic institution that Vanderbilt, want to compare it to Stanford, want to compare it to Northwestern and their football success. Can that be achieved?
I think everybody hopes so. Stanford and Northwestern have had amazing success over the years, and you've seen some of the facilities that those places have built. Man, what Northwestern has up there on the shores of Lake Michigan is probably second to none. But they've also had a lot of stability in the coaching department too. Those programs you mentioned have been really good for a long time. But I think a lot of people look at Vanderbilt and say, "Hey, why can't we do this? Have that sort of success as those other places who feel like similar institutions." I think a lot of people would love to see that level of success from this program.
Well, we know it can be done in baseball. It's been done in baseball, really close to winning another one this year. And I think Jerry Stackhouse will get basketball back. And basketball historically has been really good in Nashville. The commitment to football, is it there?
I think so. There's a new campaign called Vandy United, trying to raise $300 million for new facilities and those things. They just built a new football locker room. It looks amazing. But they're going to be going shovels to ground here pretty soon on some new stuff. They're going to build a whole new football facility, a new indoor facility, all sorts of other things for the other sports. So I think in about 10 years, the campus and that area around the athletics buildings is going to probably look completely different than what it is right now.
What would you call Clark Lee, offense or defense?
Well, he's been a defensive coordinator with Notre Dame, obviously, and that's sort of been his thing as a coach.
That's not really vogue these days, not defense.
Yeah, no, it's not. Everybody's all into high-powered offense. But, it's funny, going back to his playing days, he was an offensive player. He was a running back, a fullback. But I would say, as far as that goes, if you put him in a box, one or the other defense, but you got to be a football guy no matter what.
Head coach.
Whatever your background is to be a head coach, you have to be kind of all things to all people, when you're in that role.
What kind of offense did you see in the spring and we think we'll see this fall?
I'm interested to see that myself. I think with the combination of quarterbacks you have, it gives you some options because Seals has a great arm. He can really throw. You have some pretty nice skill players. I like the receiver group. Running backs have some experience coming back there. So I think these quarterbacks, and we'll kind of see what it looks like under Coach Rye, but I think you have a lot of options in terms of an offense this year.
And a very busy sports scene in Nashville. It's hard to crack that first page, isn't it?
It really is. There's so much going on. I lived in Nashville, worked there for 23 years, and I've been around that area for a whole lot of my life. I grew up about an hour up the road. But it's so different than just when
Boomtown.
When I moved there in the late 90s, the Titans were just arriving, the Predators had just arrived, and now it's just crazy. You got an MLS soccer team, you got a lot of NASCAR and racing coming back to town. The sports scene there.
Great baseball park.
Oh, yeah. You got a new park for the Sounds. That's changed a lot. It's amazing to see what that town's become. I mean, it's just blown up. I mean, the skyline looks completely different, too, than it did maybe 10 years ago. So, yeah, it's been cool just to see how the sports scene and the city itself had developed.
Kevin, thank you, and good luck to the Commodores this year.
Oh, thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Love visiting Memphis from time to time. Been down there to see a Grizzlies game. We played there in the Liberty Bowl back probably a decade or so ago.
Against Cincinnati?
Yep, against Cincinnati. That's exactly right. So it's always a lot of fun to visit your town, too.
Thank you, Kevin.
And that was Brett visiting with Kevin Ingram of the Vanderbilt Sports Network. He's the sideline reporter at K Ingram Sports on Twitter. And the usual question we have with Vanderbilt when they get a new regime, when they get a new coach, are they going to be supported? And it looks like they're finally headed in the direction of doing that and getting a new facility. It looks like they're going to be state-of-the-art. But for 2021, with the schedule they have in front of them, Brett, what are the expectations?
Well, it's going to be rough first year, but I do like Ken Seals. I was surprised to learn that they're looking at playing other quarterbacks because Ken Seals was big, strong-armed. Right. I'm not going to say Jay Cutler type, but not far from it, and a good ball player. That schedule, though, the non-conference, East Tennessee State, Colorado State, on the road at Colorado Springs, Stanford and Nashville. That will be good for the Vandy brass to see that academic institution,
right,
them roll into town. The other non-conference against UConn, the two Western teams, Mississippi State in Nashville and Ole Miss in Oxford, and then the other 6 in the SEC East. So it's going to be tough in the first year for Clark Lee. It's eyes wide open. He knew it when he took the job.
You get 2 wins, East Tennessee, UConn built in. But if they can get 1 or 2, I'd lean toward 1. I think that's fine as far as SEC wins go next year. It's hard to know. Changing of a scheme. I think Ken Seals is good. I do agree with you there. But changing of a scheme defensively from what they were doing last year. So we're just going to have to keep an eye on it. And you always hope that they're going to be giving the new coach the right things, letting him do what he needs to do. And hopefully Clark Lee is able to do that.
Yeah, hopefully he is. Vanderbilt, I don't think they gave Derek Mason a fair chance. Now, so, around college football, I don't know him at all, but supposedly the reputation of David Shaw is just one as a prince of a fellow. Well, Derek Mason was one of his good friends, and you just wonder if he might go in there and blast them pretty good for how they did Derek Mason. I don't think they gave Derek Mason a fighting chance.
And Derek Mason and Clark Lee, too. Fantastic
Derek Mason
coordinators.
be good at Auburn.
I would say fantastic coordinators everywhere they've been. As far as Derek Mason knows defense better than most defensive coordinators around the country, but sometimes it just does not work out as a head coach, and it's just tough. Vanderbilt's a tough job. We all know that. It just wasn't able to work out.
And I don't know why they would schedule a game like Colorado State at Colorado Springs. That's the kind of game that they need to be playing somebody.
9 p.m. start.
Yeah, that's going to be a late night start and a tough job that has just been made tougher the last few years. But we saw what James Franklin could do. I mean, game day, and mentioned coming to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and a fun team to watch and cover. And then after that, they just didn't. I don't think they gave Derek Mason a fighting chance. But it was fun to talk to Vanderbilt. We will talk Alabama at 5:00. We'll talk Texas A&M about 4:45 or so, and we will also talk the Mississippi State Bulldogs. That will come your way at 5:30. So a lot of SEC Media Days conversation. Our SEC Media Day sponsors, All-Star Chevrolet and Olive Branch, Belly Acres, Golf Sticks Pretzels, Jason's Deli, Memphis Tourism Sports Council, Mossy Oak Golf Club, Ronnie Grisani's and the two commissaries, the great commissary in Germantown, the original, and an all-new Collierville commissary. Thank you so much for allowing us to be at SEC Media Days. When we come back, we will talk golf. We will do it with John Gowen. We'll wrap up the Open Championship, the year in the majors, look for a week out before the Olympics, but also pick the golf tournament this week being played in Minneapolis, the 3M. We'll do it with the team that's so far ahead, they don't even have to do picks this week. They could win without doing picks. We'll do that when we come back and talk golf with Gabe and with John next on Sports Time.
Golf is back, and so is Miramichi. And just like every other year, there are improvements. This beautiful golf course sits on 330 acres. It provides more than 7,400 yards of championship-level golf, and the beauty that surrounds it is absolutely amazing. And guess what is back too? It's the Miramichi patio. Totally redone, revamped bathrooms, a full service bar, and on weekends, there'll be bands. Oh, by the way, 2 TVs, and it's now open to the public. You don't even have to play golf to catch the view from the Miramichi patio. But if you do want to play some golf, have we got deals for you? Senior golf for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday down to $30. The standard weekday rates, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, as low as $32. Even on the weekends, it's under $50, and you get golf balls on the range. Play the most beautiful golf course in all of Shelby County. Go check out Miramichi. Grind City Brewing Company is taking care of beerness in Memphis. Grind City Brewing is the dream of a father and son duo to create a brand that delivers a high-quality, great-tasting, and easy-drinking craft beer. And they've done it. The brewery sits high above the city elevation in uptown Memphis with 15,000 square feet of beerness, including a 5,000 square foot tap room. Grind City Brewing is committed to all things Memphis, including the Tigers. They have created a malt liquor called Tiger Tail that is the official craft beer of the University of Memphis. Tiger Tail comes in 16-ounce six-packs and is not your typical malt liquor. Tiger Tail is crafted with a bold and smooth flavor, has 7.5% alcohol, and its clean finish makes it incredibly easy drinking. Tiger Tail and Grind City Brewing, taking care of beerness in Memphis.
Go
golfers. It's time to tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the biggest Callaway trade-in event of the year. Starting this Thursday through Sunday, bring in any of your old clubs and receive a 75% trade-in bonus towards new Apex irons and Epic woods. Both the Apex and Epic families are designed with artificial intelligence for faster ball speeds. Go to worldwidegolfshops.com or call the store nearest you to schedule your free custom fitting today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Bensdorf Realtors. When I talk to people about selling their homes or buying one, my motto is stick to your game plan. I learned this from my friend Coach Terry Tippett. Coach, you didn't go into a game without having a plan, did you?
No, Sheldon. Having a plan was critical to the success of all my teams.
That's right, Coach. Sticking to your game plan helped you win 4 state championships.
That's wrong, Sheldon. It was 6, just like the number of shots you make on a par 3.
Well, Coach, we've played golf together. What advice can you give me about my game?
You probably need to stick to real estate, as you're much better at doing that, or perhaps bowling.
Great advice about real estate, not bowling. And as I always tell people, if they're thinking of selling their home, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers and let me be one of them. As they often say, when you want the job done, Coach, who should they call?
Sheldon, of course.
You can reach me at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. That's 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies, we will hand you $100 if we can't. And thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Fiveash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Fiveash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Dave is out today, but he left us his golf picks as he is mired in third. I'm a distant trailing so far back in fourth. The leaders are the Young Guns.
Woo!
Team Young running off and hiding with it. Not even very much fun to play with. Boy, I wouldn't want to play with y'all on a Saturday morning. You wouldn't give shots. You'd go out there and blister the course and have fun with it. We'll do golf picks. John Goin about to join us from Timber Trust Golf. Gabe, you know this in sports, a lot of relationships, and when you've had past success and past good memories with people. I know you like with Justin Fuente and Mike Norville, even
100%.
leaving. My friend Ross Bjork just walked by the desk, now the proud athletics director of the Texas Aggies. It was fun to see him and give him a hug and a hearty handshake and catch up on his children. And I said, I promise I'm the only one here that won't ask you about Texas and OU today, because you're going to get enough of that. You're going to get plenty of that, and that will all play. And he said that will all play out in due time. So we'll get to that at some point. John John Goin joins us every Wednesday. We make golf picks. He's down at Timber Trust Golf, and John Goin with us now. John, we had an Open Championship, and we had a Louis Oosthuizen collapse. You would have been out there in great shape with the golf picks with that, but instead, Colin Morikawa, and TJ corrected me on it, and Dave did Monday as well. It wasn't as much Oosty blowing it as Colin Morikawa put the pedal to the metal and won the golf tournament.
John? There you go. Sorry,
There he is.
I lost you guys for a second, and then you came back to me. So,
all good.
It was impressive for Colin Morikawa, though.
My Louis Oosthuizen collapsed and then went from there. But, yeah, no, Colin Morikawa was very impressive, very reminiscent of Harding Park. And, you know, just goes to show, I mean, I think as everybody's kind of been talking about in retrospect, I mean, you know, Colin Morikawa probably could be the best player in the world if he could putt.
Right.
Which, you know, I mean, he clearly, ball striking wise, is probably the best player in the world. Very interesting that he, you know, didn't compete strongly in the U.S. Open, you know, especially out there in California, kind of home state. But, you know, just a very impressive performance by him and you know, really sets him up at 24 years old. Kind of gets a little bit of this Jordan Spieth feel to it,
Right.
you know, I mean, where he has the potential of kind of running the table here for a little bit if he can kind of just keep everything together.
And I know he changed his grip on short putts. How much of it do you think was just a good week of putting, and do you think it's something that could actually stick around if he putts like this? Do you think he could do it consistently?
Look, I think as we all know as golfers, everything's about confidence.
Right.
And right now, you know, to make a grip change that is ultimately going to give you the confidence to make putts, you feel, you know, you can carry that for as long as you want to be able to carry it. You know, you've got guys that try different grips. There's different grips out there between, you know, Super Strokes has got Flatsos, you got Fat Cats, you've got these new, you know, kind of weighted grips that are out there that people are trying. So, look, from a putting standpoint, we are all always searching. And if there's something that gives us confidence, we're going to stick with it. And, you know, it's going to help us be able to, you know, maybe putt a little bit better, at least in streaks. So it'll be interesting to kind of see how he continues this. I mean, you know, if he comes to Memphis, you know, based off of how Southwind tends to play, I mean, I think he has a legitimate chance to be in contention here in Memphis in a few weeks.
John, I say this respectfully, truly respectfully, because we have already talked about it today, that it's a really big issue, maybe in society today, but certainly in sports, mental health, mental awareness, the anxiety levels. We see it with Naomi Osaka. We see it with many others in and around sports, both on the field of play and off. But maybe the original mental game was from the putter. I'm telling you, sports psychologist Bob Rotella, I bet he started his company with visiting with and trying to help doctor golfers, because that putter can freak out a lot of people, and I say that respectfully.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, you know, I have historically been somebody who likes to putt with a heavier putter. I like to be able to feel the head of the putter swing a little bit more. But as numerous club manufacturing reps would tell you, I tend to maybe work my way through a few putters every so often. So, you know, putters are a fickle thing. You know, but I definitely with putters take arrow, not Indian approach as far as how that whole thing goes. It's definitely something that can play with your mind. And the other side of it, too, is it may not be just putters. I mean, green speeds at different golf courses. You know, I know at times, whether it's our greens at Timber Trust or greens at other golf courses that we tend to play, you know, they look faster than what they are. And if you do have a tendency to struggle with putting and things appear a certain way,
right,
then it definitely also tends to play with your mind a little bit as far as green speeds go.
Yeah, and the terms from golf were almost the original mental health, emotional issues from sports. The yips, the shanks. I mean, that's cuss words on the golf course. You don't even say. I'm scared to say it now that it might get into somebody's head headed to a golf course.
I can't believe you just brought that up because we all know you don't say the S word around anybody, Brett.
Anybody, ever. Because that's when you're going to hit it, do 90 degrees right if you're a right-handed player.
That definitely transfers through osmosis, that word.
Man, I guarantee the equipment goes down for me just mentioning shake, Gabe. When the Wi-Fi goes out here at Media Days, you can blame it on me.
Don't. I think that's what happened to my phone earlier. You were thinking about that.
Don't
word,
jinx
and all
it.
Of a sudden, my phone went crazy.
We don't need it jinxed, Brett.
Yip's almost as bad as that. We're visiting with John Goin. We talk golf with him every week. So the year in majors, we had Hideki Matsuyama. We had the story of Phil Mickelson. We had John Rahm. And then we had Colin Morikawa, 2 United States players, 2 international players, one from Japan and one from Spain. I say good year in golf. We got them all in, and maybe we've recalibrated, rekiltered, and got back on schedule in golf.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I mean, clearly there's so many stories coming out of the majors this year. I'm happy to get them in within their normal time frames. So, definitely I think kudos to everybody involved in the majors between the Tour and the USGA and everybody. And hopefully, we have the ability to kind of stick with it going forward. I mean, clearly there is some substantial concern over the next couple of weeks with what's going on in Japan right now.
Right.
And I think that there is some serious jeopardy that's going to happen with the Olympics to where you may not get that event in. Hopefully that bodes well for Memphis if that doesn't happen. Just because I can potentially see some guys that are participating in the Olympics maybe not getting to Memphis just because of travel schedules and other things along those lines. So maybe if the Olympics do happen to get canceled, it benefits Memphis from that perspective. So, but again, overall great year with the majors. I mean, obviously to have Hideki Matsuyama win at the Masters was a huge story. I think it really leaves the door open, though, for who Player of the Year is. I think Player of the Year is really going to not be decided until we get
a lot of golf to
into
play.
The playoffs here over the next few weeks.
Yeah, let Rahm win, let Morikawa win, let somebody out of Memphis, Hideki Matsuyama get another one, and if Field does it, it would just about ensure it. The 3M Open this week. TPC Twin Cities in Blaine, Minnesota, just northeast of Minneapolis. I know you know it well from the TPC association that you had for years. Team Young, Drew, Gabe, Bryant, overwhelming lead. They had Colin Morikawa. They did well in the other event last weekend, got pretty good money out of Matt Wallace. Everywhere they turn, they have money, almost $12 million. John in second with a little over 7. Dave in third at about 5.3. And me in the traditional 4th spot that I always seem to be in, and I always pick first at just under $4 million. Dave and I combined don't equal Team Young.
And we hate to do it to you guys like this. I swear we do. We do not enjoy it.
I can tell. Me and John combined don't equal Team Young. So I go first with the first pick at the 3M. He's only won once on tour, played well at the Open Championship, and the do factor for Tony Finau, it's there. So I take Tony Finau. Dave picks second. He takes Dustin Johnson. John, you're third in your selection.
Well, I think after his little respite off, I think he's going to come back with a little bit of something to prove and re-energize. I'm going to take Matthew Wolff.
Ooh, Matthew Wolff with that swing.
I'm telling you, John
every
week takes the guy ahead of me. Maybe it's a good thing, honestly, because last week I wanted to take Louis Oosthuizen, and I ended up with Colin Morikawa. Pretty lucky. But I'll take Patrick Reed.
Patrick Reed off the board, 4th. Boy, I know he'll probably win again. So it's shock time. I go first with that, and boy, we've all kind of tried it with him. I wasn't that daring last week. Still hard to believe his OWGR ranking. I'm going to try it with Ricky Fowler.
Dave?
Who's Dave?
We got, Dave's pick. We got Dave's pick?
Yeah.
Brett?
I think Brett is gone. Luke List is Dave's pick.
Luke List?
Luke List.
You have a copy?
That's who y'all took
How about it? And he did well. He did sort of a meltdown on Sunday. But
Look,
he
Seamus
did his best.
Powers figured out a way to win that golf tournament for my own sanity. So
You're sticking in there.
Good Lord. All right. Boy, I feel like I got a few here. I'm gonna I'll take Chris Kirk.
Chris Kirk. All right, let's write that down. You got it? And then I'm going to go, I don't even know how to say his name. John, you might have to help me. Emiliano Grillo? Is that how you say his name? Emiliano Grillo. I'm going to go off the board a little bit. We're going to go there.
No, I think that's pretty good. I mean, he played well last week. He was kind of up there. He's played well, I think, for the last couple of weeks. He played good at John Deere, so it's a good pick.
He sure did. But, John, you tell us about what's going on at Timber Trust.
Well, golf course has recovered from aerification. All this rain has really kind of greened everything up. Golf course is in really good shape right now. Looks like we're hopefully beyond, all this rain we've been getting. But, still have some good tee times available over the next few days. We've got our 2-man scramble, obviously, tomorrow night. You can call us to sign up for that. But we've been averaging about 27 or so teams the last couple of weeks. Last week's skin pot was unbelievable. We had a hole-in-one last week, which was great for all the guys on
Yes,
Thursday.
sir.
So you can call us at 662-895-3530 to either book a tee time or sign up for tomorrow night. Or you can visit us online at timbertrustgolf.com. And but again, golf course is just in impeccable shape right now after all the rain. Really kind of greened up. Greens have really kind of recovered from aerification. Last one of the year. And so prime time to be able to come down and experience golf in North Mississippi this weekend.
Good deal, John. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. We'll visit next week.
Thanks, John.
Hey, you guys enjoy Charlotte ACC Media Days because we all know that's the more important conference this week.
You got it, John. Proud Virginia Tech Hokie, John talking to the Virginia Tech Talk. Help me, catch me up. I went Ricky Fowler. Dave went Luke List. John went
Brian will have to catch you up.
Brian will have to catch
John
you up.
went with Chris Kirk.
Chris Kirk and Gabe
we went
with
Emiliano Grillo.
Very good. The Argentinian Emiliano Grillo. Our SEC Media Days coverage in part brought to you by Golf Sticks Pretzels. You can get them at Timber Trust at John Goins Golf Shop. You can get them there. We all need that great snack on the course, at home or on the go. We need to be ready for football, and coming soon, Stadium Sticks. We'll talk more about those tomorrow. Golf Sticks Pretzels, they hit the spot. Go to golfstickspretzels.com and order them now. The company is in West Point, Mississippi, in the heart of college football country and in golf country. Buy it by the case, 3-ounce golf sticks, 12-bag count, 12 individual 3-ounce bags for $24. 3-ounce case, 36-bag count, 3 ounces per bag, $42. And all the area golf shops, like I mentioned, at Timber Trust, TPC Southwind, Spring Creek, Miramichi, Memphis National, and, of course, at Old Waverly and Mossy Oak Golf Club with the company right there in West Point, Mississippi. Guaranteed a birdie in every bag. They provide a delicious, healthy snack for athletes, fans, and it promotes the great game of golf. Proven to be the best-tasting pretzel, Golf Sticks Pretzels coated with specialty seasoning, paired with a buttery crunch. Tastes so good that will power you through any season. Make it your second golf bag, golfstickspretzels.com. A birdie in every bag. Go to golfstickspretzels.com, and coming soon, Stadium Sticks Pretzels, coming to all the stadiums near you. We will talk about it tomorrow at 3:30. The big talk today, and I mean Mike Slive, he comes through here, and you should have seen the media attack him. Everybody wanting the first quote from him. He's already saying no comment on anonymous sources. A lot of people texting me about it, and it sounds like it could be moving fast. Texas and OU potentially someday, somehow, some way to make it 16 in the SEC. That would impact things locally. We know every time there's been conference realignment and upheaval, there's movement. And the Memphis Tigers, Gabe, never more poised for that movement, because you have to be good on the field, because that means you're pretty good in the stands, and the Tigers have been that.
Teams like Memphis, you look at Cincinnati, Houston, teams out of the AAC. The AAC has put themselves in a great position for conference realignment.
Central Florida
to upgrade when it comes to realignment time, and it looks like it's coming quick. This is very, very interesting, and we'll have to see how it takes care of itself over the next couple days and weeks and months and years.
Yeah, and we were at SEC Media Days one year. We're sitting here at this desk. I was in the morning. I was with George Lapidus, and George Lapidus, there was not a hint. I mean, if it was a pond, it was as tranquil, no upheaval as you can imagine one. And as an aside, George asked Mike Slive, then the commissioner, said, why not 2 teams instead of 4? Everybody was thinking 16 then, and Mike Slive had that look on his face to George like, you got really good sources, and George did. And Mike Slive said, well, maybe 14 is the right way. A few years later, it was 14 when everybody was expecting 16. I don't think it would be more than that this time. It would just be 2. And if it's OU in Texas, the political game, as I mentioned earlier, I don't think A&M would block it. A&M and Texas have pretty much resisted playing each other until someday when they're back together again. They don't want to play in a bowl game against each other. They've had a shot or two for it to be paired off that way, and they just haven't. But I think Oklahoma a little stickier with that Oklahoma legislature and Oklahoma State feeling like they could kind of be left out.
Yeah, and it's looks like Jimbo at the podium is absolutely he's having his fun up there talking about the Oklahoma and Texas.
Did he do a downward horns?
No.
Is that legal?
No, that's
Can you do
not
that at
legal.
media days?
Come on.
Oh, this is the
We
SEC. You
can't
can do
that.
it.
But he said, I bet, when he talked about the reports about them wanting to join the SEC, he says, I bet they would. And then he also said, you got to be careful what you ask for.
Ooh.
So, very,
Well, you
very
do,
interesting.
don't you?
You sure do.
You do, and for a lot of teams already in the SEC West, and already that it's a scuffle, it's a struggle. And I brought this up. Look, I'll say it: Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Arkansas. All those fans, yeah, that'd be fun for the Razorbacks. Fantastic, bordering states with both of them. The rivalry in the past with Texas, but for Arkansas and Ole Miss and Mississippi State, you bring them in. Who we gonna beat?
Right. That's going to be an interesting thing. But if Oklahoma and Texas get into the SEC in the near future, the Big 12, what do they do?
Does it disintegrate?
Does it disintegrate? Do they add teams? You can't just add 2 to replace those.
Every
behemoths.
man for himself,
right? You can't replace those behemoths with 2 other teams from either the AAC or some other conference, right? You'd have to go out. You'd have to get 4, probably get back up to 12 with some of the upper level group of 5 teams. I'm wondering.
And then would it have the
how
Big
that
12
works
feel,
out?
or would it feel like a kind of an amorphous Conference USA?
Oh gosh. But you still have some good teams there. Oklahoma State, Iowa State, solid
TCU.
right the second. TCU. You still have some teams that have been powers in certain aspects. So, gosh,
Texas Tech.
It's gonna be wild. This is gonna be wild going forward.
Yeah, it sure could be. And you just wonder if with that, maybe the big throw in deep for the Big 12 would be maybe try to get Nebraska to come home.
When would the earliest be where Texas and Oklahoma could join in? Is it? I know they have scheduling done as far as football through 2025. So when would be the earliest?
Yeah, and good luck to Greg Sankey. I mean, the phalanx around him, and he's saying no comment to every one of them. I mean, they have covered him up, which would have had him today, but darn it, scheduling, I had him yesterday. Gabe, old school, you would, and I remember Mike Slive talking about how hard it is to merge in, to integrate universities and all the different sports. But didn't last year prove to us if you really want to, you can do anything on the fly?
You can. Last year is.
If you just really want to do it, can't you do it?
It's an absolute example of that. Now you have to build in, when you're talking about scheduling, you have to build in some time. You have to build in extra extra time to be able to adapt and overcome. But
and I know y'all blame me for it after the Wi-Fi went down. It has nothing to do with me saying shank or yip.
Right.
Everybody's experiencing it today at the Wind Freeze. It's nobody's fault. It's just a lot being pulled. So don't blame it on me, dear listener and gentle listener and advertiser. It was not my fault. It has nothing to do with it. I am not superstitious whatsoever. I could say shank 1,000 times and it won't kill the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi kills itself. When we come back, we'll talk the business of sports with Rick Harrell. We'll ask him about conference realignment and the financial ramifications, repercussions of Texas and OU potentially to the SEC. Also, the cancellation or the real shakeup that could occur at the Summer Olympics at Tokyo. We do that next on Sports Time.
Get happy with Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio. Weekday afternoons from 1 to 3 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
No one outfits golfers better than Edwin Watts Golf Shops. We've been fitting golfers since 1968. Utilizing cutting-edge fitting technology, we'll analyze your swing and our Foresight launch monitors and fit you with the perfect club, pair of shoes, the latest golf apparel, golf balls, bags, and more. So come by today for your complete custom fitting. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Hey everybody, ready for a new Chevy or pre-owned Chevy? Olive Branch is where you want to be. All-Star Chevy has new Silverados and Tahoes coming in. And if you're ready to sell your car, truck, or SUV, All-Star Chevy will buy it, even if you owe on it, and even if you don't buy one of theirs. Or you could just bring the title and get your check today. Spread the word, people. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Collierville, not Mount Moriah or the Pike. It's Olive Branch. So find new roads to Olive Branch and All-Star Chevrolet, or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. The great Kimmons Wilson of Holiday Inn had a slogan: the best surprise is no surprise. And that's so true. When I sit at your kitchen table, you're going to understand exactly what I'm going to do to your roof. From the underlayment to the hip shingles and ventilation, the flashing, the wood repairs, the cleanup, the crew safety, the warranty. It's amazing how many customers sign contracts being told none of that stuff. But the best surprise is no surprise. Insurance claims. Talk to your friends. More and more claims are being rejected, and only experienced claims specialists are getting those terrible decisions overturned. So if you don't hire me, please hire someone to manage the process with the experience to see it through. The best surprise is no surprise. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm here with the great Pat Donahue from the Rendezvous Restaurant Shipping Department.
Thanks, Brett. We've been shipping our ribs all over the country now for decades from our USDA-inspected shipping kitchen in the Pinch District. We hand-cook our ribs in pits that Mr. Charlie built over charcoal, just like they do at the restaurant.
So what comes in a rib box?
We could do pork shoulder, we could do ribs, our sauce, seasoning, baked beans, coleslaw. We'll even throw in Pancho's cheese dip with our nacho boxes. We also put a bag of Rendezvous seasoned popcorn, heating instructions, some chef hats, some wet naps, and some other helpful tips from our kitchen. We ship our ribs overnight, exclusively FedEx. And we put them in nice packaging. We don't ever want to use styrofoam, so we use corrugated cardboard, actually 2 boxes that fit nice together, so the ribs get to you, your loved ones, or your clients in a safe, wholesome manner. Rendezvous ribs are perfect for out-of-town clients, customers, loved ones. We also ship ribs for any occasion.
Where do we order these great ribs?
You can go to www.hogsfly.com or give us a call at 1-888-464-7359.
Charlie Burgos' Rendezvous Restaurant in the alley since 1948.
It's time to trade up to a Kia sales event at Gossett Kia on Covington Pike. Get up and go in a 2021 Kia Rio 41 MPG Highway, 0% and $239 a month. 2021 Kia Forte, 0% and $268 a month. And get all-weather rugged and ready in 2022 Seltos, $334 a month. Plus, peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Get top dollar for your Kia trade today and trade up at Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike, or shop online 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com. Ask for Bobby J and he'll put you in a new Kia today.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All $29.99 due at signing. Rio Forte 60 months at 0%. Rio ME 403.610. MSRP 17,315. Forte ME 379,469. MSRP 19,040. Celtos N 724 718 166 months at 1.9%. MSRP 24,110. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 must finance with KMF or low APR. Excludes tax file and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 8/2/2021. Dealer stock only.
Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallow and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Always a lot of business to sports. We talk that every Wednesday at this time with our friend Rick Horrow. You can follow Rick on Twitter appropriately at Rick Horrow. He joins us now with the news of the maybe impending cancellation of the Summer Olympics in Tokyo. Oklahoma and Texas rumored to be bound for the SEC, and the economic impact in Milwaukee of the Bucks being crowned NBA champion, and the NBA from a year ago at this time to now averting financial disaster and ruin with a great job over the last 12 months, 16 months by their commissioner, Adam Silver. Good afternoon, Rick Horrow. A lot to discuss. How are you, sir?
I am wonderful. Thank you for the sir. And also, I was going to say some of the same stuff, and we'll get into it in a minute. But somehow, the way you say it, I think the combination of that Southern dignity and just the slowness makes it sound like you're very serious and you're more reasoned. I speak faster. People discount the fact that I speak faster. Do have twice as much to say than you do, but that's besides the point.
Well, thank you, Rick. I try to be genteel to my friends, and I consider you one.
I consider you a really good friend, even though you haven't yet implemented.
You called me a loser 2 weeks ago.
Well, I feel better today.
I think he said loser radio station, to be fair. To be fair.
But I did not.
I laughed then, and I laughed then, and I laugh now because I know it wasn't trying to be mean. It was going for the laugh. And see, I'm getting a laugh from him. Rick Horrow, let's talk serious about the Olympics. Yes. I'm really worried. We always worry up to the flame being lit and the dove being released. But this time, what would be the premium for cancellation insurance for NBC for those properties? Heck, for the city of Tokyo, the country of Japan. Would anybody even write that?
Well, yeah, and I don't know I should. I'm sure when I ask, someone would not tell me because they know that's kind of my beat. But this insurance would be a rollover on a year-to-year basis based on every 2 years of Olympiads with NBC. And based on some of the stuff that went on, you remember Wimbledon got cancellation insurance and the British Open last year, but certainly not this year. So if anybody gets wind of what happens this year, no one would write that because the premiums, you can't afford it. And so it's just such a massive payout. NBC has to do a rights deal with the future Olympics. My sense is what they would do is, under the radar today, Brisbane got the 2032 Olympics. Good for them. Congratulations. They've been to Melbourne. They've been to Sydney, but not to Brisbane. And, my sense is, though this is unprecedented, that you'd roll it over and you get some credit for, 4 years out for NBC. That doesn't help anybody today or this year. You're talking about $26 billion of getting ready for the Olympics
real money.
In Japan, as compared to 1964 when the Olympics cost about $1.9 billion. It's just inflation, but it's a lot more than that. You got $1 billion for stadium, the Olympic Stadium that's been substantially redone, that nobody will go to except the opening and closing ceremonies. If they happen, they'll happen, but they'll happen in front of empty crowds. And by the way, everybody says the world is coming to an end because there are no crowds. That's not the issue. We're used to having no crowds at games since NFL games last year. How easily we forget. The biggest issue is if the games do go off and the dove flies away, it doesn't fly back, are we opening ourselves up to one of the most horrendous health issues we've ever had on this planet? We don't know.
Yeah.
And then you talk about the sponsorship rights in the stadiums. How is that a loss that those companies will have to eat, or is it just a situation where they're divvying it out anyway, even without fans in the stands?
Well, the future Olympic top the international sponsors, they can also roll it over and recover some down the road if they have multi-year deals. The over 60 Japanese-related sponsors that sponsor these games, they're basically out of luck. They also added an additional 100 to 300 million per company in rolling over this year. That's one of the ways that the IOC was able to get athletes and others some cash during the postponement, was to tack it on to the corporations that are Japanese-based. But now, if you do it again, there's no way to recover.
Rick Harrell, our guest, talking the business of sports. And as we speak, breaking news here at the SEC Media Days gathering, Greg Sankey, when asked about the attraction of expansion following a Houston Chronicle report on the potential of adding Texas and Oklahoma, he responded, I'm going to focus on the 2021 season. All of his comments so far have been no comment. There have not been a single denial yet. Texas and Oklahoma potentially coming to the SEC, and last year, if it proved anything, Rick, we can get warp speed on changing things and on changing schedules. That old 4 years, we got to play it out. They can do this thing overnight. I don't know if they could turn it over by this time next year, but they could turn that over by this time in 2 years, couldn't they?
Oh, yeah, and I'm going into the Lions Den next week. I'm going to Norman, giving a speech.
You sure are.
I'm in Oklahoma City. And so, we'll know a lot more. It'll be front-page news for a couple of weeks. But the economics are really turned around because you have a new 12-team playoff that's going to happen, and everybody's excited, but they're jockeying for their own position. We're now going to have one more very serious postseason game on everybody's schedule that matters as opposed to just a bowl game. And so how do you position yourself for it? Well, do you get into that super conference again? What if you're in the top three in the super conference? Do you get into that playoff? There are a lot of those discussions that we didn't have a few weeks ago. Right. And how about name, image, and likeness? Mm-hmm. Alabama's kids, Louisiana State's kids, are already making a lot of money from name, image, and likeness, and they're pissing a lot of people off. The lineman, if I'm a lineman and I'm blocking for this fair-haired quarterback.
Gabe was a lineman. Gabe Kuhn was a lineman.
Yeah, I may get, I may take a few plays off.
Hey, big boy, get your check now.
That doesn't help anybody, though, Rick. I'll tell you that. That doesn't help anybody.
No, and it doesn't help anybody. But the bottom line is, it's one of those things where, you have a couple of processes. You have the University of Miami process where you've got sponsors who will give enough money for the whole team in small amounts, and the quarterbacks can go get their own deals elsewhere.
Right.
But everybody on the team gets X. And then you have the, Bo Nix model where everybody at Auburn said, all right, this kid's our guy, so he's going to get the money. Mm-hmm. Same thing with the LSU quarterback. Same thing with a lot of the SEC quarterbacks. So, that one is fraught with some peril because, and while you're at it, what about the rowing team? What about the lacrosse team? What about all the kids who see their football brethren getting a lot of money, but they don't? So we got a lot of issues.
Growing pains.
Kind of like you guys. Do you guys make the same salary? Do you guys like each other? Do you guys know what you make? I mean, there's a real issue here, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Greg Sankey. I'm going to say no comment, but I'm not going to deny it.
I'm going to stir this one up, man. I'm going to get a disclosure report. See where we go with it.
Yeah, and the growing pains are just going to be very evident, I think, here in the next few years. They're not going to be very evident right this second. But the one thing I did see this week, North Carolina got done the group licensing deal. For their NIL situation. Yep. Is this the first step to getting, and I'm a younger guy, so I'm a video game guy. Is this the first step to getting the NCAA football, basketball games back?
Yes, and the steps are going to be pretty quick. EA Sports is talking about bringing back their college football game in 2023, maybe a little earlier. Mm-hmm. They've taken hiatus for 7 years, and guess what? We may have not schools on the back. We may have the kids' names on the back and their numbers. So who gets those dollars? Well, the athletic department could get some. At least it's different than the kind of generic, iconic cutouts that nobody know who they were. And the kids are going to get some. So, and how about esports? There's going to be some NIL related to esports athletes. So Team Geek's going to get millions of dollars. The people that I used to make fun of because they're playing video games. Now I'm going to work for them. How about that?
Rick Haro, thank you for your time today. We know it'll be busy next week. Best of luck with you in Oklahoma. You're going to get a lot of questions about the impending move, and we'll talk about it with you next week at 4:30 in Memphis. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
Yes, sir. I'm going to practice my no comment. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
You got it. Rick Haro. We love visiting with him on the business of sport, and it's always changing. I know one thing that has changed because it's gone from 1 to 2 locations, and that's the commissary. 2 great locations. The newer Collierville commissary, Houston Levy and Poplar, are the original in Germantown. The newer Collierville commissary, it feels like it's been there forever. Memphis-style barbecue and ribs, authentic Memphis-style great food. That means slow. Start that barbecue feast with the appetizers like the cheese plate or the tamales or the barbecue nachos. The smoked chicken wings, terrific. The barbecue nachos started at the Germantown commissary in the early 80s. Dig into the ribs of the shoulder. A big sandwich, if you'd like it. You can get it chopped or pulled. On the plate comes the beans, slaw, deviled eggs, and bread as well. Don't forget the party packs like the 6-pack, the 8-pack, or the 12-pack. We often give away 6 packs of barbecue on this show from the Germantown or Collierville commissary. Save room for dessert. The best lemon icebox pie I've ever had anywhere. Terrific banana pudding. 754-5540, 901-754-5540, online at commissarybbq.com in Collierville and in Germantown, commissarybbq.com. Walker Taylor, thank you so much, and everybody look forward to seeing him out at the pit at TPC Southwind for the WGC FESJI. Either place, the new Collierville commissary at Houston Levy and Poplar, or the original in Germantown, and for the week of the golf tournament at the pit at TPC Southwind over by 9T and 8T area. That'll be fun that week out at Southwind. When we come back, we visit with Olin Buchanan from TexAgs.com on the upcoming season for Jimbo Fisher's Aggies. That's next on Sportstime.
Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy take you through lunch from 10 to 1 weekdays, only on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
For years, I have talked to you about James Davis, the finest men's store in all of Memphis, the service, the selection, everything that goes with quality. And I've told you recently about the Stant Perfect Fit shirts. Well, now there's the Stant Perfect Fit pants. Absolutely amazing. Only 2 measurements fed into a computer, and all of a sudden, you've got the perfect fit pants. I'm talking everywhere. The leg, the seat, the bottom, all made to fit your body absolutely perfectly. And there's 80 different fabrics to choose from. You will find the right look, the right fit, almost instantaneously. They start at $162, but you will never find a better pair of pants than these at James Davis Men's Store. And the shirts are still there, and guess what? It's the only place in Memphis that you can find Stant. That's the James Davis Men's Store in the Laurelwood Shopping Center.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Reef Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies, we will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Fiveash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Fiveash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing is what we do. We're here for you.
Mid-South Hobbies has your favorite model airplanes, boats, race cars, and trains to build. With brands you know like Lionel, LGB, and a large selection of Traxxas radio-controlled trucks, cars, and boats. Mid-South Hobbies has all the accessories to make them complete, with thousands of paint colors to make them shine. Reach the sky with rockets and kites, or reach deep into your imagination with action figures, comic book superheroes, and fantasy quest games. Get passionate about your hobby at Mid-South Hobbies. 4862 Summer Avenue, open 7 days a week. Call 901-682-9402.
Like, I don't know. Can you just pick something and order? Yeah, but anyway, where are you at? You don't...
It only takes 2 seconds of distracted driving to become a statistic. You can lose your driving privileges, your vehicle, face jail time, or even lose or take a life. Slow down, Memphis. The life you save may be your own. Brought to you by the Memphis Police Department, Traffic Operations.
Hey, Mid-South, it's time to trade up at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah during the Trade Up to a Kia sales event. Hey, what's happening over there, Jeff Allen?
We got it going on, and we're ready to help you trade up to your next Kia. I've got a 2022 Kia Soul, not a lease, and 0.9% APR, $289 a month. 2022 Kia Sportage, 0% APR, and only $365 a month. And if you want American-made, we got it with 2022 Kia K5 now, $374 a month.
Plus, every Gossett Kia comes with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty program.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, 2680 Mount Moriah, or KiaMountMoriah.com.
All $29.99 down payment, 60 months, sold in 715-0981, 0.9% MSRP, $20,685. Sportage in 79.79,540, 0% MSRP, $26,060. K5 NGO 950.54, 0.9% MSRP, $25,840. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/31/2021. Dealer stock only. Must finance through Kia on APR offer.
Now, more of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wolo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Ocean and Brett Norsworthy.
A lot to talk about with the Texas Aggies, and none better to do it with than Olin Buchanan, our friend from TexAgs.com. You hit town when Johnny hit town. You had a little longer staying power than Johnny.
Yeah, but I still haven't made as much money as he did. This year, there's some feelings that they could be maybe as good as they were when Johnny played.
They were pretty good last year, beat North Carolina, win an Orange Bowl, finished the season highly ranked. It's really everything that Jimbo Fisher has advertised, has promised.
Well, they're making, without a doubt, they're making progress. Now, he also came to Texas A&M with that, I don't want to say the promise, but with the intention of winning more than an Orange Bowl. To go in there, get in the playoff, maybe win an SEC championship, at least the West. Of course, we know what that entails. Maybe competing for the national championship at some point. And I'll just say they're a lot closer to those goals than they were 3 years ago.
That talent level, that personnel, it's there, certainly getting there, isn't it?
Yeah, A&M's recruiting better than it ever has that I can remember. I mean, they've had good recruiting in the past, but it's just on another level. I think, depending on the recruiting site that you want to follow, their last
I follow them all. No, Olin, you know that.
Well, their last 3 classes have all been ranked in the top 10. One of them was ranked 3 or 4.
I follow none of them. I always say, tell me in 3 years, and I'll see it wins and losses.
Right, and what you're seeing with A&M, though, they did have one that I think was 2019 was ranked really high, and now you're seeing players like DeMarvin Leal, Jalen Weidemeyer, Isaiah Spiller really fulfill that promise.
I don't mean to pick on you and A&M or those sites, because those guys work hard. They do have down. But Speedy Noel, after that, I was really burned.
That was one that A&M was really disappointed by. He had a really good freshman year and never got better. But yeah, you can go. I'm kind of with you. You can go with. You can probably list a dozen off the top of your head, 5-star guys that didn't pan out places, and a dozen guys that were 3-star.
Like Johnny.
Like Johnny. Eric McCoy, who came to A&M, was a 2-star. Now he's one of the best centers in the league for the New Orleans Saints. So, you don't want to put all your marbles on that or put all your chips in, but it's kind of a reference point. It gives you an idea how those people that follow it feel like A&M's been recruiting.
So those lofty expectations and the commensurate check that goes with it for Jimbo Fisher, the deal that really rocked college football, and now it's kind of the going fair. Those expectations, winning the West, that means beating Alabama this year at College Station. If you're going to do it and be the first mentor to beat Coach Saban, it's got to be this time.
Yeah, and to be quite frankly, you've got to even as someone who covers the Aggies and sees them all the time, you would have to, as of today, if you're picking it, you'd pick Alabama. But I can say with complete confidence that I think the talent gap has narrowed, and A&M will put its best team on the field against an Alabama team, and that includes the 2012 team that actually beat Alabama. I think that team had a couple of nice defensive players, but it didn't have the defensive talent that this A&M team has. And I think this team, with the exception of quarterback, and that's a huge exception, can match up very favorably in the skill positions as that team did.
That A&M defense and its depth, but it starts up front. Man, those guys are beautiful.
Yeah, they had a really good year last year, and 9 guys are back. A couple of guys exercised the super senior option. Aaron Hansford was a first-year starter at linebacker and played pretty well, so he decided to come back and see if he can't build on that. Miles Jones, I thought, had an all-conference caliber season at cornerback. Hurt his foot toward the end of the year. I think he decided to come back and maybe enhance his draft status. And then Michael Clemens. You may not know who Michael Clemens is. He's a defensive end who seems like he's been here forever because of different injuries and things like that. He had 4 sacks in 5 games last year and hurt his foot, missed the rest of the year. So there's a lot of experience returning. You got guys like DeMarvin Leal, and let me tell you, A&M, they lost Bobby Brown to the Rams, but there is so much hype, excitement, expectations for one of those Mississippi kids, McKinley Jackson. They think he's ready to step in, and quite frankly, there's some that think they're going to get better, and I know that's expecting a lot. But some think that they're going to be better with McKinley and theirs than they were with Bobby.
McKinley Jackson broke a lot of hearts, Ole Miss and Mississippi State in Egg Bowl world, and even Alabama's. Jimbo beat Alabama out for him.
Yeah, it came down between, from what my understanding was, it came down between Alabama and...
Here we are referencing that recruiting.
Yeah, here we are. But in this case, we're not ranking them. We're just talking about it came down between those two, and that was I think McKinley's one of the bigger, without a doubt, one of the bigger fish that Jimbo's been able to land, and really excited about what he's going to bring to the table for A&M.
A&M waited a long time, and they were rewarded for the patience with Kellen Mond. The new quarterback, whomever it will be, probably won't have that pass. The fans are ready now.
Yeah, and I think that's why when I talk about A&M, you say, I think a 10-win season is a legitimate target.
That's a really great year.
It is, and it's a legitimate target. With the schedule and things like that, it's kind of advantageous. I think it's a legitimate target. But there's apprehension because of you have 4 new starters in the offensive line and you have a new quarterback. I think anytime you have a new quarterback, unless you're Alabama, there's at least a measure of
hesitancy. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, you got to be.
So now you've got 2 guys, Zach Calzada and Haynes King, that have spent a lot of time in Jimbo's system. And quite frankly, Jimbo's had a little bit of success with first-year starting quarterbacks that have been in the system, and he has spoken highly of them. He likes both of them. They're different. Calzada, kid out of Georgia, has a really big arm, just a cannon. Haynes King from Longview, Texas, he's really fast. One of the fastest guys on the team, and played well when he got in last year. So they have different strengths. We'll see which one Jimbo goes with. Again, he says that both of them have really made huge progress. He's comfortable with them, but until they go out and play, you gotta always have a little bit of doubt.
One last thing for our friend Olin Buchanan from TexAgs.com. We'll catch up with him a bunch during the year. We always do, and he's great with his time with us as always. But Olin, is Johnny appreciated in College Station? Is it the way it should be?
A couple of years ago, Johnny was decided to try to sell some merchandise, and it was a cold day in February. And he actually sold it out of our TexAgs offices. He asked if he could use that and we had lines wrapped around. We're in a strip mall. Lines wrapped around the building. 500 people easily waiting out in the cold to buy stuff and get his autograph. He's still as popular ever. If they would have had the NIL back then, he would have made more money than Bryce.
Double.
Than Bryce Young. So, he may not be. He may not be revered anywhere else, but he's still revered in College Station.
Man, he should be. That was a 2-year twisting tornado. It was something to see.
It was great times, and maybe, there's some great times coming too.
Olin Buchanan, thank you so much for your time as always. Olin Buchanan with us at SEC Media Days, brought to you in part by one of our great sponsors, Golf Sticks Pretzels. We all need that great snack on the course, at home, or on the go. Golf Sticks Pretzels twist, they hit the spot. Go to golfstickspretzels.com and order now. The company's in West Point, Mississippi. Buy it by the case, 3-ounce golf sticks, 12-bag count, 12 individual 3-ounce bags for $24. Or the 3-ounce case, 36-bag count, 3-ounce per bag, $42. In all the area golf shops, TPC Southwind, Spring Creek, Miramichi, Timber Trust, Memphis National, and of course they're at Old Waverly and Mossy Oak Golf Club. The company's right there in West Point, Mississippi. A guaranteed birdie in every bag. Provides a delicious, healthy snack for athletes, fans, and promotes the great game of golf. Proven to be the best tasting pretzel, Golf Sticks Pretzels coated with specialty seasoning, paired with a buttery crunch that will power you through any season. Make it your second golf bag. GolfSticksPretzels.com. A birdie in every bag. Go to GolfSticksPretzels.com.
Great conversation there that Brett had with Olin Buchanan of TexasAgs.com, at Olin Buchanan on Twitter. And as he said, SEC Media Day sponsors, obviously brought to you by Golf Sticks, All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch as well, Belly Acres, Jason's Deli, Memphis Tourism and Sports Council, Mossy Oak Golf Club, Ronnie Gasani's, and never forget the commissary in Germantown and Collierville. On the other side, starting off hour number 3, 5 o'clock, Ryan Fowler of 100.9 in T-Town, in Tuscaloosa, to talk the Crimson Tide with Brett. We'll have that next.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Golfers, it's time to tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the biggest Callaway trade-in event of the year. Starting this Thursday through Sunday, bring in any of your old clubs and receive a 75% trade-in bonus towards new Apex irons and Epic woods. Both the Apex and Epic families are designed with artificial intelligence for faster ball speeds. Go to worldwidegolfshops.com or call the store nearest you to schedule your free custom fitting today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
Belly Acres' motto is City-Fied Farm Fresh. The goal is simple: provide a fun, unique farm-to-table experience for the whole family. 2 great locations, Regalia at 6130 Poplar and in Overton Square at 2102 Trimble Place. Overton Square hours Sunday through Thursday 11A to 9P, Friday and Saturday 11A to 10P. Regalia Sunday through Thursday 10:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 10:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. Signature burgers are made from 100% grass-fed beef. Sandwiches, salads, and the best milkshakes anywhere. The burgers, so good, like the Daria or the Double Daria, and the melt in your mouth. And you have to try the Voodoo Moo Moo. It is the quality brand the Belly Acres team has developed using grass-fed beef with creative homemade toppings in a fun farm setting right here in the city. The goal at Belly Acres, to become even more sustainable as they grow. In Overton Square and in Regalia, the very best quality available in Memphis, burger shakes and smiles at Belly Acres.
Start your engines, Mid-South. Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike is ready for the Enjoy Your Summer Style sales event. Get plenty of pulling power and more standard features than Mazda CX-5 and Ford Escape in your new 2022 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, $229 a month. And hit the road in a 7-passenger 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander. We goss it at $259 a month. All powered by our stellar 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So don't miss the Enjoy Your Summer Style sales event at Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 500 military rebate, 750 loyalty rebate, 48 months, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Outlander, NZO 16672, MSRP 29480, Cross NC 003186, MSRP 27725. Includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/31/2021. Dealer stock only.
Swerving, speeding, and reckless driving can leave you in your own dust. Drag racing has its consequences. You can lose your driving privileges, your vehicle, face jail time, or even lose or take a life. So slow down, Memphis. The life you save may be your own. Brought to you by the Memphis Police Department, Traffic Operations.
Hi, I'm Tito Beveridge, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In 1997, I started the first micro distillery in the state of Texas with my dog, Dog Joe, at my side. We're still working with dogs out at the distillery after all these years. Learn more about how dogs are a part of life here at Tito's Handmade Vodka at vodkafordogpeople.com. Tito's Handmade Vodka is made from corn and naturally gluten-free. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
They've raised the bar again at Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. I like to say this is the new standard, the way car business should be done. And to prove it, out of 355 dealers in America that sell Genesis cars, the one in Olive Branch, Genesis of Olive Branch, was top 50 in the country, top 10 in the region, and number 2 in the district. And guess what? They want to be number 1. That means there are opportunities out there for you. It's the safest, and every new latest bit of technology that makes the experience of driving a car better, they've got it at Genesis of Olive Branch. If we start with the G70, the highest performing car I've ever owned, all the way to the G80 or the G90, the biggest of the sedans, you'll love everything about the car. If you would like to try the new SUV, the GV80, you call Vinny Gerard at 662-890-6684. He will bring it out to you.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
We welcome you into the third and final hour on this busy news-breaking day, July 21st, 2021. We got a busy final hour for you, Mississippi State Bulldog fans. Of course, we're going to talk the Bullies, the Maroons. We do it at the bottom of this hour. We're going to talk the Alabama Crimson Tide coming up after I tell you about the title sponsor of this hour. And, of course, that's DeSoto Auto Sales. They are every day, and we're proud to have them. They're very proud to serve DeSoto County and the surrounding area down on Goodman Road, 5704 Goodman Road. Go to their website, DeSotoAutoSales.com. Check out all the beautiful cars and all the very pleased referrals at DeSotoAutoSales.com. All the cars checked out thoroughly, bumper to bumper, unlimited inventory, every make, every model. If they don't have it on the lot, they'll go out and find the special car just for you. No shortcuts taken at DeSoto Auto Sales. You walk in, you're treated like family by kind, courteous employees, laid-back atmosphere, down-home environment, but they care about your time, and they want you to enjoy the ultimate car experience. We know, they know, we live in a world today where time really matters. We're very busy, on the go, and that's why they'll let you test drive cars, credit approved, paperwork complete, and you're out of there in 45 minutes or less. It's a guarantee at DeSoto Auto Sales. It's that simple. At 5704 Goodman Road, 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience at DeSoto Auto Sales. The breaking news of the OU and University of Texas. We could have both UTs in the SEC, Gabe Kuhn. Wouldn't that be something to have the west of the Mississippi UT and the east of the Mississippi UT, both in a different shade of orange? The potential of them coming into the SEC again. It's been no comment officially from Greg Sankey, but not a denial.
Not a denial at all. And I don't think from any avenue. Oklahoma has released a statement saying that they're not going to address it, but no denials in the slightest. The question I had earlier,
Ross Bjork having to play to his hometown crowd, saying the only SEC team he wants in Texas are the Texas Aggies. He has to say that to the red meat crowd.
That would also be, I mean, Texas going into the SEC adds even more flavor to the recruiting that happens in that state. And I know everybody picks out of Texas, but those two schools in particular, that adds that fuel to the fire if they're both in the SEC. Now, I am curious, and I asked this earlier, when is the earliest that this could happen? Because we talked about the SEC schedule set through 2025. And also I just learned this. The Big 12 has the rights to any TV money that Oklahoma and Texas accrue through 2025. So I'm thinking that 2025 may be the earliest that anything like this could shape up.
I don't think you could put yourself through that with those road trips, especially in men's basketball, and the receptions you would get at a lot of those places. It was rough on Arkansas with loaded teams in the last days of the Southwest Conference. I think that Texas money and that Oklahoma money, and what is oil trading at today? About $80 a barrel. I think they'd have to step up and maybe have an early exit fee that everybody could agree on. And we'll see. It's a story that won't go away until there's flat denials and objection.
But here's the other thing about it. More questions than answers. I mean, just a ridiculous amount of questions around how this will play out or would play out if it is the case. There's not many. It's hard to come up with a very, very educated bit of speculation on how this would affect the Big 12, how this would affect the SEC, how this would affect TV contracts when we talk about the Longhorn Network. So more questions than any answers that we could figure out right this second.
Yeah, it is, and that's always a godsend for Sports Talk Radio when you have more questions than answers. That always makes it fun.
100%.
And we will talk Alabama coming up. I had the chance to catch up with Ryan Fowler. Always fun to visit with him, and that was a little bit earlier. Here's me with Ryan Fowler. The Alabama Crimson Tide and Coach Nick Saban in town today to talk with us about it. From 100.9 in Tuscaloosa, the Tide, Ryan Fowler. We catch up with Ryan a lot during the year. Last time we talked to him, the Tide was getting ready to win another national championship.
Brett, it's good to be back here at SEC Media Days. I am so excited just to be here and talk some college football with all of my friends and all these coaches. And we're only about 45 days away from Alabama and Miami.
Yeah, you keep the countdown just for the Tide. We're even less than that for week 0. Illinois and Nebraska. You won't even watch that game, will you?
Absolutely. I'm a college football fan.
I know you are.
And I went to Lincoln probably about 2 months ago, and I made an appointment to go by the stadium. Oh, my heavens, wow.
On your big trip. I remember you and your wife going out.
Well, I just feel college football. And a police officer, I walked up and I wanted to touch the stadium. I know that sounds kind of, crazy for all of us that are non-college football fans. But I went up and I touched the stadium, and there was a police officer who said, "Can I help you, sir?" I said, "I just want to be a part of history here for just a second." I respect Nebraska, what those guys.
Oh, me too.
I think it's good when the Blue Bloods are back in college football.
Well, Bama's back. Ryan, there was a time that the conversation that's now around Nebraska was around Alabama. Could it ever be done again? And Miss Terry and Jimmy Sexton got it done with the hiring with the late, great Mal Moore. We got to for sure bring him in on that. And they hired Coach Nick Saban, and as they say, the rest is a chapter of college football history almost unlike any other.
It is literally, you have to pinch yourself. Say, when he got to 3, when he gets to 4, when he gets to 5, and then they say, well, once he gets past Coach Paul Bear Bryant, as far as a number of national titles, then and he did that, and I don't know what now is next. Maybe it's double
323.
digits. Well, and you know what? How crazy, and I know that the increase of games when you look at it, but he's going into his 15th year. Nobody would have predicted. If I'd have walked into Vegas and said, Coach Saban will stay 15 years in Tuscaloosa, and really there's no immediate future that he's going to end it. So let's say he's there 20 years. You would have been a millionaire, and you just put $1 down and said that Nick Saban would have been in Tuscaloosa. So 323, SEC win total. I mean, it's just, I think upstairs they said that nobody had made more SEC media appearances than Steve Spurrier's, the only one, and Nick Saban will be closing on that record very soon.
Yeah, and COVID knocked him out of one last year, and now it really starting to appear like it's going to be as far as the eye can see, because let's say if he just goes 5 more, because he's the healthiest 70-year-old I've ever seen. If he goes 5 more, well, that's easy, 50 wins.
Yeah, because you look at the games, and what if we increase the number of playoff games, and you add more of that to that number? He's starting to creep on up there, and you got to be honest, okay? Right now, if you offered me 70 years of age at looking like Nick Saban, I'd take it right now. Right now.
I got a 59-year-old body right now. I'd take it.
Because he doesn't act like he's 70 years of age. Most 70-year-old individuals that I know, they're worried about the bridge tournament at the retirement home, and he's worried about the 5-star. And he's just programmed different. And I think when you listen to Nick Saban, I've asked him a couple of times, what do you enjoy outside of here? And he almost struggled with it, but he did admit in one of the rooms upstairs, he said, I have learned to shut it off, and how rewarding that is when I get to the season, that it's refreshing. And I think today, like I saw a Nick Saban chipper, energized. I complimented to one of the guys. I said, guys, he's in a great mood. And I don't know if that's good for the rest of the SEC.
No, it's not. Breaking in a new quarterback, we know what the last 2 quarterbacks, what they've been what they've been like. I don't know that Bryce Young will look like Mac Jones in Tua Tagovailoa, but I know he's got to be good or he wouldn't be at Alabama.
Well, and I think this is the area that you're going to have to deal with. Really the big concern that I have around this team is the depth at quarterback. We play with a contact sport. Really, it's a collision sport when you look at it. Can Bryce stay healthy? I don't think there's any doubt that he has the talent. But, Brett, he's not a big guy. He's a guy that I don't think they want him out there running the option or trying to take hits. And
he ain't Derrick Henry.
No, get him out of bounds, save his body, try to find a way to to play to the game, because that's the question. What if it happens to Texas A&M? What if he has a high ankle sprain? There's a guy by the name of Jalen Milroe, but he's not ready yet, but he could be. I think if you want to ask me right now, the backup quarterback's probably him.
I know in summertime radio, we're looking for a lot of different topics, and I've thrown this out at your friend and mine. You have him on as well, and we have him weekly, Barrett Jones, in Memphis. If you went position grouping, and you hear a lot of places that claim to be linebacker U and DBU, in the Saban era, in Coach Saban's years at Alabama, what's the position that it's been the U? You could argue tailback with 2 Heisman Trophy winners. You could argue wide receiver with a Heisman Trophy winner in Devontae Smith. And if Jalen Waddle doesn't get hurt, I don't think Devontae wins that Heisman, because the numbers would have been shared. Barrett's position at center has been a great one. Even the first center, Antoine Caldwell, inherited from Mike Shula. What's been the position grouping that Bama could categorically say we're the U for?
Linebacker. I think linebacker is, to me. But you could also, like you said, wide receiver, running back, offensive lineman.
We know it's not kicker.
No.
But it could be punter.
Trust me, we do Bama's best in the offseason, and we make you two from the Saban era, 2 prior to Nick Saban. We total of 4. I skip the kickers because it's hard to come up with, other than Will Reichard from last year that was 100%. But you look at the talent overall. They've got a punter. I think they've got 3 long snappers right now in the league. 3 long snappers out of 32 teams. But he's approaching that 75-plus players in the NFL. For anybody out there, 53-man roster. He's over that roster. It has just been an incredible, just riches of talent. But when you bring up Barrett Jones, man, I love that guy. He's incredible. He's a great guest.
Great human.
Well, just an absolute human. And one of these days I'd love to ask his dad, because where there's a great son and multiple sons with Barrett and his brothers, there has to be a great dad.
And Mom Leslie.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and I'll never forget, I interviewed Barrett coming out of high school, and his mother sent me a request. She goes, hey, can I get a copy of that tape? Like all moms do. But
she's wonderful.
Barrett, 2-time All-American at the University of Alabama. Now, Barrett, don't get mad at me what I'm about to say if you happen to be listening, driving home, because I know you make your home there. He's the most decorated player in Alabama history until Devontae Smith last year when you look at it. But now Barry did it multiple years. He was a 2-time All-American, played 3 different positions, incredible guy, but like you said, a great human being. But him and Devontae would have an argument of most decorated player in Alabama football history.
And think how much the game has changed from his first day there at the capstone, really at the cornerstone, laying the foundation for what Alabama football it is now. It was run heavy, it was line of scrimmage football, it was tailback tight end, and now Nick Saban fogging it around like he's in the CFL.
Oh, wow. Well, and I think he was asked on another radio show talking about, well, you got all this stable of backs because you got Brian Robinson, you got Jace McClellan, Roy Dale Williams, and then the newcomers coming in. Well, could you line it up and just pound football? And he looked at the guy, and it was almost like a sad voice with Nick Saban. He goes, you don't win like that anymore. And he said, you could kind of see it that, yeah, he would love to be able to go that direction, but guys, it's not the game. And when you look at Nick Saban, no, I couldn't have thought that he would be averaging this type of points. And, the defense, I know he says that it was okay, finished up in the SEC, but they had a bad first half. When you talk about the first half of the season, they cleaned some things up, but offensively, if you don't score the points, you're not going to be able to win the game. And I think that's really the takeaway is the evolution that Nick Saban, the adaptation of the current rules of college football with Nick Saban.
He is a real revolutionary innovator, and I didn't think it would ever happen, but as a loyal Coach Bryant defender, Coach Nick Saban's the best ever.
Well, I get in trouble because we have some old-timers that listen to my show, and I respect Coach Paul Bear Bryant. Don't ever take it, that away. We've been spending this year talking about 50 years of the wishbone in 1971. We feature a wishbone guy every week because this is the 50th anniversary.
With Johnny Musso on a Friday night at SC.
Yes, so we talk about that. Sam Bam Cunningham starting it out here and made Coach Bryant evolve. But in this current time that we live in, there is no doubt. And see, the record book is not done. If we stop right now, if Nick Saban never coaches another game, he's the best college football coach that's ever walked the sidelines. But he's going to continue adding to this. He's going to separate it, and because they're going to introduce more parity in college football, the records that we're talking about will never be touched.
Never be touched. I don't know who you had submitted as the best wishbone quarterback at Bama. Richard Todd was really good and ended up being the number 1 pick by the Jets, but I still think it was Stedman Shealy.
Stedman Shealy, no doubt a good one. We had Terry Davis on.
The pride of Bogalusa, Louisiana.
Absolutely. And I started doing my research because I was born in 78, so I have to depend on historians like yourself and Steve Townsend's a big
Steve knows.
AP Stedham's another historian. And so I reached out to these guys and I said, help me now. I want to start with the number 1 quarterback. And they said, well, you got to start with a guy, and Terry Davis. And I went and I asked him, I said, Terry, be honest with me. Who told you that you were going to the wishbone? Because he was the first quarterback, right? And think about the conversation of David Bailey. In 70, he caught 58 passes. Well, the next year in 71, they didn't even throw 58 passes. So the unselfishness in this current time that we live in, he'd have hit the transfer portal like 4 times before the end of the start of the season.
And cashed in at the NIL.
Right. I mean, right. So, but Terry Davis was absolutely, and he doesn't do a lot of interviews, but I tell you what, I can connect you. I can maybe help you out a little bit. He would be.
Oh, I'd love it.
He knocked it out of the park, and he told me he had just come off the golf.
Tell him I got a cover of Sports Illustrated of him framed in my sports room.
I can make that connection. But he told me he just came off the golf course, and he shot below 80. I think it was a 79 that he shot. But it was tremendous when you just hear him tell the stories of Alabama. And then, we went out to USC and featured some of those guys. But, man, I have to pinch myself. I grew up in this state. Wearing the Bama colors, growing up, Bobby Humphrey, Derek Thomas. I was the only backyard two-way player back in North Alabama. I mean, I could play both ways. I could be Derek Thomas on one side and Bobby Humphrey on the other.
You picked two good ones.
Well, I mean, that was my heyday. Okay, I was born in 78, so yeah. I remember those times. Growing up, doing what I'm doing, I have to literally go, I am blessed by the man above that's given me the opportunity to talk Alabama football 4 hours a day, 5 days a week.
There's no place like it. I mean, when you pull into Alabama, just everything just really drips. It just reeks of college football fanaticism and greatness, from Paul Bryant Drive to seeing the museum and library, to seeing all the coaches that won national championships. This year, I have said this might be as gettable as Bama's going to be in a while, because that recruiting class last year, I think, was his best ever, and that's saying something. So gettable. 2 losses anywhere out there?
I don't see it. I think when you look at Nick Saban and you look at the coaches, unless there's an injury, and an injury at one of those,
all things being relative.
Right. So if it's healthy, I don't see even where you can find a way to get them. Texas,
you can tell me when the injuries come. Tell me the Powerball numbers.
Well, right. So, but you look at Texas A&M, I think Alabama, and Jimbo kind of added some fuel to the fire a little bit. That's fun. Those guys, right, they love one another. But we still discussed it when you look at it. But it's Florida on the road might be an early game. But, the game, and I know you're an Ole Miss pre- and post-game and halftime and all the responsibilities that you have there with the network. But I take Ole Miss for just a minute. Look at who gave Alabama the best game. It was not Ohio State. It wasn't Notre Dame. It wasn't Auburn. It was Ole Miss and the Florida Gators. So Lane Kiffin coming to Tuscaloosa, for one, that's going to be just a lot of conversation. But, Ole Miss with offensively, if they can get a defense to, learn how to tackle and play solid, then could Ole Miss be a game? I don't think it's a losable game, but it could be a game that you could kind of circle and say, hey, this one kind of gets close a little bit, because I don't think anybody had it close the first year in Oxford.
We have a lot of Tennessee fans in our listening area, so go ahead and tell them how many days it's been since Tennessee's last win.
I think it's 5,388 days, but that ship has sailed. It's going to be a while. Sorry, Volunteer fans. I'm not trying to make you mad, but it will be a while. We're having the bet here of how long, will it take? And I've said I don't think it's 10 years that this program is back to where Tennessee fans want it to be. Where Tennessee, because the history of that program, Alabama's got 28 SEC titles. Tennessee and Georgia have 13 SEC titles. We're talking about a rich tradition of program. They're not satisfied winning 7-8 games. I think it's going to be a while before Tennessee gets back to where their fans want it to be.
Whether it's this year or next, whenever Alabama gets back in the playoffs next, after you go through Notre Dame and Ohio State, that's dream college football names and matchups. Who's left out there for the Alabama fan to want a piece of? They mauled USC in a regular season game. They mauled Michigan. Which one? What? They played Clemson. They run into OU plenty of times. Who's out there? Maybe Nebraska get good again? A service academy, Army, Navy? Who?
Well, I mean, think about how many times you could go through an SEC opponent, because they're going to try to stack those guys against one another to prevent like an all-SEC championship. So trying to get through that, I think Alabama fans would love to maybe go back and get a Clemson another time. That rivalry is there. FSU would be another one. DeAndre Francois going down with Jimbo Fisher. That was a great setup to that game. That would be a good one. But I'd also love
Penn State. I'm already done that.
I'm disappointed that South Bend was pushed back.
Yeah.
Because I thought, okay, that might be makeable for Nick Saban. I don't know, when you're pushing it back, it may not be when you look at total number of years. Notre Dame, listen, with a history of Alabama football. But I'd like to see Texas back in there, but I don't know if Sark can get them to where they want to be. I don't believe. And
Texas don't want none of that.
No, not now. I mean, they may in 5 or 6 years, but right now, I think the New England Patriots, if they want a little Alabama, we could schedule maybe one of the bye weeks or something. I'm just teasing. I'm just joking.
You don't want to do that to Mac Jones, do you?
Well, sure. I mean, don't you think his coach would know his weaknesses? But no, I'm just being sarcastic. But
I know that.
When you look at teams, and then I think Dan Mullen, doing something at Florida, I'm sure they've got revenge on their mind. I'm sure, they get that party could get off to a rocky start. What if That's the problem. You look at history, but look at how many coaches that Nick Saban has knocked out. Like, that's a book within itself. Look at where programs would be, where coaches would still be. You know, would Mark Richt win the championship in 2012? Would he still be
Tommy
there?
Tuberville may not be in the Senate.
Sure. I mean, think about that. I mean, but it's just the coaches that he's processed is simply amazing. That's a book within itself.
Ryan Fowler, always fun to catch up with you. Let's do it a bunch during the football season. I know you're busy, but we love having you on with us.
Send me some ribs, man. Ribs. I love Memphis barbecue. You guys have a great day. Thank you so much.
They are on the way. Thank you, Ryan Fowler.
He is Ryan Fowler, at Ryan C. Fowler on Twitter. And he is brought to you by our great sponsors at SEC Media Days.
They are. We do have great sponsors like Ronnie Grisani's right now. We're getting close to dinner time, a little bit early, but you can go over there now and have a drink in the bar. Stay cool with that cocktail list. The first name in Memphis Italian food, it's Ronnie Grisani's. In Regalia, lunchtime, the Italian favorites, Chris Cole, Miss Mary salad, lobster tower, fried green tomatoes, the crab stack, Monday through Saturday for lunch. Ronnie Grisani's Catering. Check out the lunch catering guide at ronniegrisani.com, the Elfo special. Salad, Italian bread, $14 per person. Ronnie Grisani's, they'll bring it to you. 901-850-0191. Pick up a pan of lasagna at Ronnie Grisani's in Regalia, or check out the bulk menu at ronniegrisani.com. Get your favorites at home, like the chicken Alfredo, the ravioli, the Italian spinach, curbside pickup, delivery to your door, free within 4 miles of Regalia. Again, that bar, stay cool on this hot day with the cocktail list. Steaks, the 8-ounce gorgonzola and bacon wrap filet. Try it, then thank me later. In High Point Grocery, super low on Spotswood, super low on Goodman Road, and at Buster's Liquor. Make lunch or dinner easy at Ronnie Grisani's, a Memphis tradition since 1909. They are ready for football season. They're ready for the golf tournament as well. We appreciate Ronnie Grisani's and all our Media Day sponsors, like the official transportation of Media Days, All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch, Belly Acres, Golf Sticks Pretzels, Jason's Deli, Memphis Tourism Sports Council, Mossy Oak Golf Club, Commissary, 2 locations in Germantown and Collierville. When we come back, we talk the Mississippi State Bulldogs year 2 for Mike Leach. We do that when we come back at SEC Media Days on Sportstime.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. How old is your water heater? With most of the water heaters in the Mid-South located in the attic, the worst day you can replace your water heater is one day too late. It may be time for a tankless water heater from Conway Services that never runs out of hot water. Plus, these energy-saving models only heat the water you use, saving you money on your gas bill every month. Most 10-year-old water heaters were about 65% efficient when they were new, compared to a tankless water heater from Conway Services that's up to 98% efficient. Plus, right now, get your tankless water heater from Conway Services for as low as $79 per month. Or I'll give you $250 for that old tank water heater. And no more worrying about that tank bursting in your attic either. And you know, with over 8,000 5-star reviews, you know Google guaranteed Conway Services will be providing great customer service every time. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old water heater will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
I'm Brian Elder. The great Kimmons Wilson of Holiday Inn had a slogan: the best surprise is no surprise. And that's so true. When I sit at your kitchen table, you're going to understand exactly what I'm going to do to your roof. From the underlayment to the hip shingles and ventilation, the flashing, the wood repairs, the cleanup, the crew safety, the warranty. It's amazing how many customers sign contracts being told none of that stuff. But the best surprise is no surprise. Insurance claims. Talk to your friends. More and more claims are being rejected, and only experienced claim specialists are getting those terrible decisions overturned. So if you don't hire me, please hire someone to manage the process with the experience to see it through. The best surprise is no surprise. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Like, I don't know. Can you just pick something and order? Yeah, but anyway, where are you at? You don't...
It only takes 2 seconds of distracted driving to become a statistic. You can lose your driving privileges, your vehicle, face jail time, or even lose or take a life. Slow down, Memphis. The life you save may be your own. Brought to you by the Memphis Police Department, Traffic Operations.
Magic in Memphis. Excellence delivered. Where the world comes to showdown. To be the king of Grind City. Today's stars, tomorrow's legends. Taking care of business. Compete to conquer the world. Don't miss the World Golf Championships FedEx St. Jude Invitational. August 5th through 8th. For more information, visit WGCFedEx.com.
Hey, Mid-South, it's time to trade up at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah during the Trade Up to a Kia sales event. Hey, what's happening over there, Jeff Allen?
We got it going on, and we're ready to help you trade up to your next Kia. I've got a 2022 Kia Soul, not a lease, and 0.9% APR, $289 a month. 2022 Kia Sportage, 0% APR, and only $365 a month. And if you want American-made, we got it with 2022 Kia K5 now, $374 a month.
Plus, every Gossett Kia comes with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty program.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, 2680 Mount Moriah, or KiaMountMoriah.com.
All $29.99 down payment, 60 months, sold in 715-0981, 0.9% MSRP, $20,685. Sportage in 79.79,540, 0% MSRP, $26,060. K5 NGO 950.54, 0.9% MSRP, $25,840. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/31/2021. Dealer stock only. Must finance through Kia on APR offer.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallow and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy.
Rolling right along. Hour number 3 of Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallow and Stats. No Wallow today. He'll be back next week. Gabe Kuhn sitting in for Wallow. Just got done with a great conversation with Ryan Fowler of 100.9 in Tuscaloosa about Alabama. Now it's time to head back out as Brett caught up with Stefan Krajisnik of the Daily Journal in Tupelo about Mississippi State and Mike Leach.
To talk Mississippi State with me from the Northeast Mississippi Daily Journal. Joining me now and new on the beat, Stefan Krajisnik. He joins us now, and he was at Indiana last year, and I'm surprised I didn't see you down at the ball game, Stefan.
I know, looking back, there's a few people that I've met here at Media Days that are saying how we probably would have overlapped at some point at getting dinner somewhere. So it's nice to finally get to meet you, finally get to meet some guys on the SEC beat and get going here at Mississippi State.
And quite a contrast in coaches that you have covered, from Tom Allen to Mike Leach.
Yeah, very different styles, both in terms of coaching and in terms of off the field. Two very different guys, but I'm excited about the opportunity. I think Leach is going to have a lot of fun with me there, and I think I'll have a lot of fun covering him.
Fun time covering him, and last year it just got off to such a spectacular start. Maybe too good with lighting up LSU when we were still looking at LSU as that national championship team.
Right, I think throughout the season we learned a little bit more about LSU in that game than we did, I guess, about Mississippi State. There's bright spots throughout the season that Mississippi State had, but overall I think you saw the impact of not having a full off season with a new coach, especially a coach with Leach's system coming in. You saw the flaws that come from not having that time, and I think you're going to see a bit of a more improved and a different team this year that understands the system a little better. Doesn't necessarily mean I think they'll make strides in terms of wins and losses. I think they might win a couple more games than they did, but just seeing that understanding and a lot less turnovers and disconnect, I think coming into the season is going to be huge.
Well, Mike Leach is scary enough with any quarterback, but he has not one but really two he can go to. I thought what Will Rogers did down the last stretch of the year last year, and I know what Jack Abraham can do growing up there in Oxford and what he did at Southern.
Right, yeah, it's kind of surprising because coming into the season, you would expect Will Rogers is kind of comfortable to get that starting job, but I think you see the potential that Abraham has just in the fact that he's making a push to get that starting role. I think you see the respect that Mike Leach has for him. So I think there's a bit of a more competition than people may think. I would be surprised if Abraham were to be the week one guy. But if Rodgers comes out and he's struggling, Leach has someone that can see his system and kind of has had this offseason to get used to it. And it's going to be interesting to see throughout the year what direction Leach decides to go in.
And plenty of receivers.
Plenty of receivers. The quarterbacks will have help with them, and I think, I keep saying this full offseason they had, there's so many things you gain from having that spring season, and the relationship between your quarterbacks and wide receivers, especially a pretty established wide receiving core, should help the quarterbacks out a lot, as long as there's some protection there on the offensive line.
And number one leads it.
What's up? What was that?
Number one leads it.
Absolutely.
Really good player. Stefan Krajishnik, our guest, he covers Mississippi State football on the beat for the Northeast Mississippi Daily Journal. And this year for Mississippi State, that starting schedule, I've said the first 5 games, I think it's brutal.
Yeah, no, it's very brutal, and I think just looking at their SEC play, it's going to be very tough for them to get out. There's going to be you got to take advantage of the non-conference games that you have, and it's not necessarily a cakewalk. I mean, you can run into some trouble there in those non-conference. You play at Memphis. That's a team that's shown in the past that they can have some success against SEC programs. So I think, if you're someone like Mike Leach, you got to make sure your players are ready for those non-conference games. If they are, and they can pull off some wins there, you have your Alabamas that you're facing that games you can kind of walk in and say. I mean, we saw last year with LSU they can pull off an upset, but there's a couple games that are going to be really tough to win where you have the games with Ole Miss, Kentucky, Arkansas, those more toss-up games, I guess you would call them, where you got to take advantage of those if you want to have yourself a successful bowl season.
The air of good feeling in Starkville, in Octavia County, and around the state of Mississippi, what is it like after Omaha and winning it all?
Right, yeah, maybe I'm not the best guy just because I've barely been there. I'm coming in new, but just from talking to fans and talking to...
You mean it's not this kind of party all the time?
Not all the time, but no, just meeting some new people and talking to the fans. It seems like, the expectations are still there. I mean, MSU fans will always have high expectations for their program, as they should. The SEC program, teams will have high expectations. But I think the energy, just knowing and looking in the past, the jump Mike Leach teams make from year 1 to year 2, I think is a reason for expectations to go higher, and I think MSU fans, full capacity, hopefully everything back to normal, there's a reason to be excited.
Yeah, and the leadership at Mississippi State, and so long star for that first national title, get it in baseball, that cannot hurt season ticket football sales.
No, I think there's definitely an excitement that carries over from, the fact that MSU athletics probably more than, except for Vanderbilt, who their celebration got cut a day shorter. But aside from MSU, there's no athletics, NCAA athletics in the nation that had a longer season and now is going to have a shortest offseason between any college program, going from baseball to football. So I think that does that excitement. The way the fans showed out in Omaha, I think is really impressive, and I think fans around the world. I was in Serbia at the time visiting family when Mississippi State pulled it off, so I know at least one person around the world saw the impact those fans had in Omaha, and I definitely think that excitement is going to roll over pretty quickly here into football season.
On offense for State, we know what they want to do. They want to throw the ball. What do you think the maximum number of real running plays, not scramble plays, that kind of a bust play? What is real handing it to the tailback? How many times a game?
That's tough. I think that if they reach 20, it's going to be a bit over what a lot of people think. I think if you're in that 12 to 15 range, and as long as they're getting some blocking and establishing a little bit of a run game in those few runs, it'll open up the offense a lot in the passing game. But man, if we start reaching the 20-30 range, I'll be really surprised.
And State will have a stout defense.
Yes. I think the defense will be good. The front seven, especially the defensive line, will determine a lot of things. But the secondary that you have with Emerson and Forbes and Jalen Green coming over from Texas, the secondary should give them enough time where you can get some pressure on the quarterback, stuff them at the line on the runs, and really make a drastic jump from where they were defensively last season.
Stefan, let's catch up a bunch during football season. Safe travels, and glad to have you here from Indiana and from Serbia. Welcome to the Mid-South, the Tennessee, Arkansas, Mississippi area.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you. In the lunchroom, people were telling me that you're a legend, so it's a pleasure to meet you.
Then it's easy to get to legendary status.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, Stefan. Stefan Kraishnik with us. He covers the Mississippi State Bulldogs, and naturally, we bring that to you from our friends at Mossy Oak Golf Club. It's nature's golf, the connection with nature in West Point, Mississippi. And at Mossy Oak Golf Club, the combined philosophy of the George Bryan family, course architect Gil Hansen, the #1 brand in outdoors, Mossy Oak, they have delivered on the full experience. Guests are greeted with the gentle charm of the region. In partnership with Old Waverly, the two courses deliver an unrivaled experience. The only location in Mid-South with not one but two top 100 courses in one great location. They're across the street from each other. The cottages at Mossy Oak open to the golf course, spacious accommodations. Contact Chris Graves, 662-424-1000, or Chris Graves at mossyoakgolf.com. Stay and play with seasonal rates that end of summer getaway, fall football trips, businesses wanting to have a company retreat for their employees, or just to entertain their customers. The course follows the contours of the rolling prairie and oak tree stands. In West Point, Mississippi, you can contact Chris Graves. He's Sales and Marketing Manager at 662-524-1000, or go to mossyoakgolf.com.
Great conversation with Stefan Kraishnik of the Daily Journal in Tupelo, covering Mississippi State for them. I think the best part of that interview there, Brett, is when he called you a legend. I think he's dead on with that. I think he is correct.
He sat around some either very nice people or they have a low bar for legendary status. I can assure you of that. That Mississippi State schedule, guys, they open with Louisiana Tech and North Carolina State in Starkville. That's two great coaches, I think, right. Skip Holtz and Coach Duran. Then they're in Memphis against a second-year head coach that I think that's bound for greatness in Ryan Silverfield. Then they play LSU. Then they go to Texas A&M. Oh, yeah, they get an open date before the sixth game and play Alabama.
They better get started quick.
That's rough stuff, man.
They better get started quick. And obviously I think the full offseason with Will Rogers and Mike Leach and those
Jack
wide receivers
Abraham
getting to sort of mesh is going to help drastically. Obviously the back half of the schedule is easy, but if you don't take care of the front half, it could be tough sledding down the back half, considering if you are in a hole and dug yourself a hole.
Loaded at receiver, and a really familiar name as their receivers coach, Steve Spurrier Jr., son of. Everybody knows who that is, for year two for Mike Leach after a good start last year, and then had some player dissension and the COVID year and opt-outs. And I think a lot of guys, quite honestly, were shown the door that he wanted to get down to his guys and really get ready for year two after that breakout first game. And then and a guy you know very well, Barry Odom, decided to not play man-to-man.
Right. I have to say, putting in an offense with intricacies that he has like that, and thinking about where they came from the year before with Joe Moorhead, I mean, you knew it was going to be tough as the season wore on for them to give defenses different looks, just because of how tough it is. They were a run-heavy offense consistently under Joe Moorhead. Did a good job with Kylan Hill, and then to get a short off season, shortened by COVID-19, and have to try to be consistent in that pass-happy offense, you just knew it was going to be tough as the season wore on.
If I set the season win totals for the two teams we've discussed in this hour, I'm going to set them, and y'all tell me how you would wager. You got to wager your house on both of them. Alabama, 10.5. Over or under, guys?
Over.
Brian,
I don't even know if I have a second thought about that.
No. I don't either. Mississippi State, 6.
Oh, my gosh. And
you push on 6, you win. If you bet under, you win on 5. If you lose, and you win if you bet 7.
Oh,
if you bet over.
Do I dare? Okay, so you have built-in wins. Tennessee State's relatively built-in, and you would think Louisiana Tech. Memphis is not a built-in win. That's
not at all.
Not even close.
Not at all.
And
on the road?
And you're at the Liberty Bowl.
You get your alumni card taken from you if you said that was a gimme.
So and NC State's not by any stretch, but I'm talking about the non-Power 5 opponents that they're playing, and I'm just sort of spitballing. Vanderbilt's a built-in win. I'm going to go for my house.
Go to Arkansas.
You're talking about for my house. Brett.
Egg Bowl.
For my house. I got to take this serious. I can't lose my house.
You move in with me if you lose.
You got a spare room?
Yeah.
I'll go. I'm going to go. We can't push. I can't call a push, right?
Can't push.
I'll go under.
Bryant?
This is tough. I'm looking at their schedule right now. I have 4 right now that I think are gimmies. But I might have to go under.
So let me guess. You got Tech, Tennessee State, Vanderbilt, and
I said that I think
Arkansas?
they can. Well, okay, I guess 5 because I think they can. I think they'll win one of the 2, NC State or Memphis.
I'm going to go the Nick Mackay, Gabe Kuhn push, 6-6 for the Bullies. I also can tell that this time next year for SEC Media Days, it will officially be in Nashville. Are you ready for that? You ready?
That'll be fun, but I thought we couldn't push, Brett.
Yeah.
What's this?
I think all of us would be on the push.
What's this?
Well, go ahead. Let's all do. We can.
I'll push.
All right, I'm pushing too.
We couldn't push.
No push. This is it for the Winfrey for a while. We'll go to Nashville next year. Just got that formally from a very good source, among the very best sources. Next year we'll be in Nashville. When we come back, we wrap up this day from SEC Media Days on Radio Row in Hoover and at the Winfrey in Birmingham. We do that next with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Sports 56 Mornings with Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sane comes your way every weekday morning from 7 till 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Start your engines, Mid-South. Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike is ready for the Enjoy Your Summer Style sales event. Get plenty of pulling power and more standard features than Mazda CX-5 and Ford Escape in your new 2022 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, $229 a month. And hit the road in a 7-passenger 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander. We Gossett at $259 a month. All powered by our stellar 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So don't miss the Enjoy Your Summer Style sales event at Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 500 military rebate, 750 loyalty rebate, 48 months, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Outlander NZO 16672, MSRP 29480. Cross NC 003186, MSRP 27725. Includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 7/31/2021. Dealer stock only.
Is there a room in your house that never seems to cool or heat the way you think it should? Then a Mitsubishi ductless system may be a solution for you. Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Ductless systems are relatively new to the United States, but Mitsubishi ductless systems are a proven energy saver because the system does not have any ductwork, so it can blow colder air in the summer and warmer air in the winter. Mitsubishi's inverter-driven compressors automatically adjust to your cooling or heating demands to deliver ideal comfort while only using the energy that is needed. No more, no less. Do you have a bonus room, sunroom, or master bedroom that never cools right? Maybe a new addition to your home or a garage you want heated or cooled. Now you can do it efficiently. Call Choates today at 755-4797 or visit our website at choateshvac.com to schedule your free estimate. And remember, Choates, let our family serve your family.
Let Jason's Deli cater your special event. Any meal, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Save all the time and all the trouble and let Jason's Deli do all the work. Locations at Park Place, Poplar and Highland, Cordova, and Olive Branch. Breakfast packages, hot breakfast choices, breakfast sandwich boxes. They serve 12, ham, sausage, fresh cracked eggs, crispy bacon. Flatbread breakfast, 8-ounce, individually boxed flatbread sandwiches. Sunshine breakfast, hot wrap breakfast, breakfast pastries, coffee, and fresh orange juice. Sandwich boxes, the manager special, soup, fresh fruit, deluxe sandwiches, boardroom box, traditional box, sandwich trays, hot meals, desserts, and drinks. Go to jasonsdeli.com. Whether you need to feed 5 or 5,000, the experienced team at Jason's Deli can deliver. Locations in Park Place, Olive Branch, Poplar and Highland, and Cordova. The commitment to variety, value, and quality ingredients means you can feel great about choosing Jason's Deli catering for all 3 meals.
I want to do some bragging rights. Hey, I was just the other day overhearing a conversation with Big Mike, the manager of DeSoto Auto Sales. They've got people buying cars all over the country. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, Texas. People from all over the country buy cars at DeSoto Auto Sales in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Why? DeSoto Auto Sales has the most stringent car inspection in America. They get it right the first time. Quality and low mileage, factory warranty on most vehicles. My favorite part is the people who work there. Big Mike, all the employees are professional, friendly, and go that extra mile. Expect as you walk in the door, you're treated like family. DeSoto Auto Sales understands your time matters. We can help you find your dream car and get all the paperwork finished in less than an hour. Come see us at DeSoto Auto Sales and be part of our family. Have a great buying experience every time. 662-890-7184.
Welcome back to Sports Time on Sports 56 with Wallo and Stats. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Come on, Muhammad, then we hit fame. We beat you with the deal, we get insane.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskins.
Boop! Choo-choo!
What's happening, big dog? How you doing?
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over. On one, on two, on three. Hey!
Time for Taco Bell Crunch Time. Taco Bell, home of the crispy tortilla chips, topped with a double portion of either seasoned beef or shredded chicken, plus refried beans, nacho cheese sauce, reduced fat sour cream, guacamole, and a 3-cheese blend. Nachos Bel Grande, heaping portion of chips, topped with ground beef, tomatoes, beans, nacho cheese sauce, and a dollop of sour cream. Taco Bell, home to great food you get on your way home real fast, and they bring you crunch time every day.
Brett, what I learned today has to do with the news of the day, the undeniable news of the day, something you just absolutely can't avoid. It has to do with Texas and Oklahoma reportedly wanting to join the SEC. We've had statements, Oklahoma coming out, saying that they will not comment. Greg Sankey will not comment. Texas will not comment. No denial.
Don't hear a no here.
No denial by any stretch of the imagination. But there's other people that are not so happy about this. We already heard about Ross Bjork saying that he wants Texas A&M to be the only team from Texas in the SEC. But this from Oklahoma State about an hour ago, statement. We have heard unconfirmed reports that OU and UT approached Southeastern Conference officials about joining the SEC. We're gathering information and will monitor closely. If true, we would be gravely disappointed. While we place a premium on history, loyalty, and trust, be assured we will aggressively defend and advance what is best for Oklahoma State and our strong athletic program, which continues to excel in the Big 12 and nationally. With this news, people are going to be left out, and people are going to be left out to dry if these realignments do happen, Brett. And I'm curious to see what the rest of the Big 12 and the rest of America has to say on this matter.
Every single person you just referenced should say exactly what they've said, because we know when realignment and conference upheaval starts, it's really every man for himself. I learned today that Bama will be a work in progress on opening afternoon against the U, but the U isn't back enough to stage the upset. Bama will win that day, and they will be getting ready for the Aggies on October 9th at A&M. It has to be rolling by then for Jimbo's Aggies as they bring them to College Station, and that's one circled by everybody. If Bama's indeed gettable, they have to be got that day in College Station.
And I will believe it when I see it. Gettable for Bama is not gettable for other teams. What I could have done without today is we had the A's situation erupt out of the MLB, and they have been back and forth with the city and the city council about their terminal site and what they will do with the future of the Oakland A's. A's president Dave Cavall comes out, and he was not happy with the yes vote that they got 6-1 yesterday, saying the term sheet isn't something that they drafted anyway, and that this isn't the end of this. The experience will continue to go on, and if the rumors are true about what is going to happen. I have experience with this, Brett. When you talk about St. Louis, you talk about the Rams.
Oh, yeah, you have.
If it goes in this direction where you have people voting yes to terminal sites and people still aren't happy, I hate to say it, it seems like the A's are leaving Oakland.
On the way to the LV, it sounds like, and a lot of people. I was at baseball Saturday night in Nashville. In Nashville, they want the Rays.
And when the plan isn't good enough, and when you still get yes votes, it seems like that team is headed elsewhere.
Yeah, it does. It feels like it could happen, but there's not a lot of places left to go to, markets unexplored. I could have done without. Where's all the recrimination of the world catching up with U.S. women's soccer? We're not hearing near the overheated comments we heard about the world catching up with the U.S. men's basketball last week when they had a couple of stumbles. Where's all that after they really were blown out last night? And you could argue that the U.S. women's national team has set a higher bar even than the NBA guys have for basketball. They're that good. They've attained that level of success and expectation.
They have. They absolutely have. And what I'm keeping an eye on tonight, I guess, Cubs-Cardinals. And I got to ask you, Brett, when was the last time you remember a Cubs-Cardinals series being this anticlimactic?
It's pretty
in July.
Pretty anticlimactic. A lot of really inexpensive tickets. Now, the box score said 40,000 last night. People told me that probably was legit, but it was a lot of steeply discounted tickets.
Right.
A Tuesday night as well. I understand that a series that started on Monday and last night and tonight, and then that ninth inning last night.
Oh, my
Cardinal
gosh.
friends everywhere text me.
And
most embarrassing moment as a Cardinal fan ever. I'm going, come on, guys.
But as far as pitching matchups go, you got to appreciate it. Hendricks versus Wainwright tonight in that game. And then also you have Giants versus Dodgers. Lucas Webb versus Julio Urias. That should be one to keep an eye on.
That's two good ones that we'll watch. Also, first round starting tomorrow at Minneapolis. We'll keep an eye on that. ACC Media Days rolling along. The breaking news on OU and Texas. NBA draft talk now heats up. And Phillies tonight in the Bronx against the Bombers, Sox, and Jays. And you mentioned Hendricks against Wayno. And NFL camp news. Always got to keep an eye on the NFL Network this time of year. We want to thank so many people kind enough to join us today. TJ Reeves, Kevin Ingram, John Goen, Rick Harrow, Olin Buchanan, Ryan Fowler, and Stefan Kryishnik talking Mississippi State with us. Fun to talk with Stefan, and we will a bunch this year following the Bullies. Tomorrow we will talk Razorbacks, Mizzou, and Auburn on the last day of SEC Media Days that are being brought to you by our great sponsors like All-Star Chevrolet and Olive Branch, Bellyacres, Golf Sticks Pretzels, Jason's Deli, Memphis Tourism Sports Council, Mossy Oak Golf Club, Ronnie Grisani's, and the Commissary. They're two great locations in Germantown and in Collierville. Thank all our guests, but also in his absence, I say thanks to our listeners for Dave. I say thanks to our listeners for Gabe, and our thanks to all our listeners and our sponsors. I can speak for Brian as well. Great job, guys. We'll do it again tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Thank you for listening tonight. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 3 from SEC Media Days on Sportstime.
They've raised the bar again at Homer Skelton Hyundai and Genesis of Olive Branch. I like to say this is the new standard, the way car business should be done. And to prove it, out of 355 dealers in America that sell Genesis cars, the one in Olive Branch, Genesis of Olive Branch, was top 50 in the country, top 10 in the region, and number 2 in the district. And guess what? They want to be number 1. That means there are opportunities out there for you. It's the safest, and every new latest bit of technology that makes the experience of driving a car better, they've got it at Genesis of Olive Branch. If we start with the G70, the highest performing car I've ever owned, all the way to the G80 or the G90, the biggest of the sedans, you'll love everything about the car. If you would like to try the new SUV, the GV80, you call Vinny Gerard at 662-890-6684. He will bring it out to you.
Hey, everybody, ready for a new Chevy or pre-owned Chevy? Olive Branch is where you want to be. All-Star Chevy has new Silverados and Tahoes coming in. And if you're ready to sell your car, truck, or SUV, All-Star Chevy will buy it, even if you owe on it, and even if you don't buy one of theirs. Or you could just bring the title and get your check today. Spread the word, people. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Collierville, not Mount Moriah or the Pike. It's Olive Branch. So find new roads to Olive Branch and All-Star Chevrolet, or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. The great Kimmons Wilson of Holiday Inn had a slogan: the best surprise is no surprise. And that's so true. When I sit at your kitchen table, you're going to understand exactly what I'm going to do to your roof. From the underlayment to the hip shingles and ventilation, the flashing, the wood repairs, the cleanup, the crew safety, the warranty. It's amazing how many customers sign contracts being told none of that stuff. But the best surprise is no surprise. Insurance claims. Talk to your friends. More and more claims are being rejected, and only experienced claims specialists are getting those terrible decisions overturned. So if you don't hire me, please hire someone to manage the process with the experience to see it through. The best surprise is no surprise. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Golfers, it's time to tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the biggest Callaway trade-in event of the year. Starting this Thursday through Sunday, bring in any of your old clubs and receive a 75% trade-in bonus towards new Apex irons and Epic woods. Both the Apex and Epic families are designed with artificial intelligence for faster ball speeds. Go to worldwidegolfshops.com or call the store nearest you to schedule your free custom fitting today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
It's time to trade up to a Kia sales event at Gossett Kia on Covington Pike. Get up and go in a 2021 Kia Rio 41 MPG Highway 0% and $239 a month. 2021 Kia Forte 0% and $268 a month. And get all-weather rugged and ready in 2022 Seltos $334 a month. Plus peace of mind with Kia's 10-year 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Get top dollar for your Kia trade today and trade up at Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike, or shop online 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com. Ask for Bobby J and he'll put you in a new Kia today. If you want it, we